Expectations for this matchup. These are two titans in the PEC. I'm expecting some big things out of them tonight.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the tank picks, especially this time around. I got it.
Yep, Mike's.
Sorry.
It's all good.
I'm excited to see that. I'm really excited to see Ohio play.
Utah. Or we're playing Utah now, but yeah.
Today.
Oh yeah, Ohio State is going to be a really big one, and I'm glad that you brought them up a little bit too, because they are taking a bye in the first round, being rank 1. But overall, they're going to be a fun one. But we are really looking at this Broncos and the Utes right now. They're going to be incredibly hard fought. I got to give it to Utah State. They played an incredibly close game a lot of times, and to be honest, they're going to be the ones to watch for tonight. But if you want some more Overwatch content while our teams are out in Vegas, make sure to check out the Boise State Esports Overwatch Twitch or X and Instagram pages for even more content. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes up on there, from trivia to skits. And overall, if you want more content, just come over to the Overwatch. Social medias. We'll get you covered. We got a whole lot of stuff there. And overall, I'm incredibly excited to see what all is going to go on tonight. And here is our first look at the brackets. We already had round 1. That was a little bit earlier today. Ohio State taking the bye. They will be playing the winners of Syracuse and Kansas. We have not quite gotten that one yet, but we do have the results for the next one. Boise State took out Nebraska in the first round, Utah beating Baylor in the second, and they are going to be playing each other right now. But we got to take a look at who's going to be playing. We got Jonathan Foraker, Cannon Miller, Carter Jones, Will Hess, Jenny Cummins, Amanda Bailey, Mark Thana, and of course their very own Doc Haskell. This team has been through a whole lot. In fact, it's composed halfway of seniors. This is going to be their last time in the PEC Championships. So this is going to be a really big deal for a lot of them. A lot on the line to prove.
Yeah, very sad to see them go. Specifically, I am super excited to see Jenny play. I talk to her all the time around the arena, so it's going to be really cool to see her jetpack cat. That's what I'm hoping for.
But in order to get that win, they're going to have to follow some of Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch. Pummel your opponent. Get good ult value. Tempo, tempo, tempo. Pummel your opponent. And all of these are, of course, brought to us by our friends at Blue Ribbon Painting. Doc's Keys to the Game are brought to you by Blue Ribbon Painting. With over 90 years of combined experience, they are proud to be Boise's go-to team of local, multi-generational painters who know exactly how to level up your home. Visit blueribbonpainting.net for more information as we go into round 1. And, of course, we're going to be starting it off on Busan. Very good map. Always like to see it in the beginning. Who do you expect to see out of the bans for this one? Boise State has a lot of ones that they like to ban first. Who do you think we might see?
Ooh, bans? I think it's probably going to be like a Zarya ban. Mostly just because how dominant she is in the meta right now. But also, I feel like, personally, Wrecking Ball is a huge pick for this map specifically. And Zarya, with like how much damage she can soak, it's not the most ideal matchup for Wrecking Ball, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, not to mention especially in the fact that there are a lot of really small corridors that Zarya really likes to thrive in. But then I also have to think of Shrine, one of the other sub-maps that is really good for Wrecking Ball. Players like No Sam and Strider have proven time and time again that they can really stall things out on those maps. I will say, I don't actually think we're going to see the Wrecking Ball ban until a little bit later. We've seen a lot of Wrecking Ball bans on push maps specifically, where you got to get from one place to the next incredibly quickly, and that's a really good one to see. What I might expect from here is something like a Vendetta or a Tracer ban. Two characters that Maxwell and Clear are very, very well-rounded with, and honestly, I feel like every team in this league is fairly well-rounded with Tracer, or at least some sort of dive, and we've seen it time and time again that these players know exactly what they're doing when it comes to this
especially that Vendetta dive. It's very brutal.
Yeah. Also, I wouldn't actually be surprised if we saw some Kiriko or other support bands also this early on. We got Ana coming up, who's going to be really good in places like Downtown and Shrine. We have Kiriko, who's just all around a good supporting character. You have a character that can get from place to place incredibly quick, counter a lot of ultimates, just overall being an incredible force in the lobby. Not only that, you also have characters like Lucio. We haven't seen a ton of Lucio bans since a lot of teams do rely on him, especially those Zarya comps, because while Zarya might be able to move a little bit fast with her bubble techs, you still need a little bit of that speed boost. And also, who doesn't love a good Reddit Lucio every now and again?
Yeah, I know, especially on Busan with all of the map hazards that you can find kills on there. It's going to be awesome.
I feel like Busan is a real big map where you get to see a lot of the less seen bans out of players, since there's a lot of different ways that you can play these characters into this map in particular. There's a lot of different play styles that can be brought out. There's a lot of different stuff you can work. You can bring out the poke, the dive, the brawl. Certain maps really do favor some things. I'm thinking of Nepal and Route 66 off the top of my head, since we just saw the Broncos play on that during the Mountain West Finals a little bit earlier this week. But we have also seen stuff like Brawl get really banned out heavy with the Zarya. I've never seen a Reinhardt ban, mostly because he's not very good.
Yeah, I feel like I don't see him picked nearly as much as he used to be.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit out of Diamond Dog when she's gotten onto the stage to play. We've saw a little bit out of her, and that's always been a fun time. I always like to see the Reinhardt.
I like seeing her Winston more. That's always so fun. Especially, I love the thing between like Overwatch 1 and when they released Overwatch 2. I love how they changed. They made the change with Winston with his railgun and how he can like charge that up. That's super cool because it kind of turned him into like, there's this new element of now you have to actually aim.
Yeah.
And so it's super cool.
Yeah, there's a little bit more threat value. It's not just, the big ape is right in my face. He can actually shoot me from a mile away. I'm no longer safe just because I can fly and because I'm main Pharah. But I will say, Winston is an incredible character in that aspect, but I really wish we got to see him a little bit more. He's a very fun character. But we did get our two bans. It's going to be Domina and Soldier.
Oh, wow.
Domina makes a whole lot of sense, especially on this map being so enclosed. Soldier, it's a little bit more out there, but hey, for you generalist aim players, maybe it might be the best one. But here we go. Round 1, Boise State versus the University of Utah on Busan. Let's see where this thing goes. But looking at Busan just as a map, I gotta take a look at that Soldier ban. I do understand where they're coming from with the Soldier ban. I'm not sure if it was Boise State or the University of Utah who did it. However, I think that it's a good one for this one, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot of different places that Soldier can really set up on off angles. I'm thinking Mecha Base on that small gantry left-hand side of the point that they can just kind of sit there and really do whatever they want with, but it looks like we're rolling out of the right-hand side on some D.Va with a little bit of Tracer action as well. No Sam actually coming out on the D.Va to start things out, not finding a ton of success as Strider is already sitting in the back line, doing tons of damage on just about everyone.
I'm so glad that they brought the Wrecking Ball out, especially against this comp too. You can really like just dismantle the whole enemy team with that.
Yeah, and we're seeing that dismantle really come in handy. Lyric and Hex both going down, but Teddy Apaya goes down early. Not what you want to see out of your Tracer. That's going to be your main source of damage. Chasing No Sam off the map. D.Va off the map. Not something you see a whole lot, but hey, you want to get to respawn early, you got to be with your team. Just something that you got to do.
D.Va sometimes can be pretty sketchy with how long she gets stalled. So it's like, I can definitely see why she opted to just SD right there.
Yeah. Hex actually swamping over onto the Brig. Can't say I blame him. They're playing a little bit of heavy dive with the full team. PDK on the Emir is definitely an interesting one. We're not seeing it do a whole lot right now, but he's just a clear and consistent damage dealer that you can't really afford to ignore.
Totally. I'm also super glad to see the Symmetra and not just as like as a way to get out of spawn faster too. Especially against the D.Va. One of my favorite picks against D.Va is Symmetra, just because that left click is she can't absorb the damage from it, so you can just basically stack for 3. It's awesome.
PDK actually finding 2 in the process. The pulse bomb doesn't quite stick to him. Teddy Apaya was able to get the recall out of there. Point will flip for Utah, but Boise State does get 50% on the board and not quite counting anymore. Utah has a few ultimates to work with. They got a Pulse Bomb coming up. They have a Diva Bomb as well. 2 really good space-making ults, not to mention Ray and PDK both having theirs as well. Boise State looking a little bit worse for wear when it comes to ults. Hex dying a little bit too fast, but the Pulse Bomb comes out of nowhere and misses him. They thought they read Maxwell like a book, but the portal was going nowhere. Oh man, what a play out of Maxwell. They're actually getting really deep in there, using the minefield already to try and stall out the point. Nobody's willing to contest. He's got a little bit of Tracer actually going in, but it's going to leave Raid way too vulnerable. Out comes the override protocol from PDK, trying to single out Maxwell once again, but he's out of there with portals. Now you're thinking with portals, Maxwell. PDK getting Hex as well in the process. Out comes the Diva Bomb, and Diva is not coming back anytime soon. No Sam takes one to the face. And from the looks of things, Boise State looking to clear things up, but a Sound Barrier for Sonic might extend this fight out just a little bit longer.
Yeah, Tracer's also got her Pulse Bomb, so you got to look out for that. Or I guess not. They got point. Yeah, Tracer. If I'm Tracer here, I'm definitely looking for a pick, especially. Oh, we got a pause.
Oh, we got it paused. From the looks of things, Nebraska and Baylor are also playing for the last spot in the seed, too. So we're actually going to be switching from between those two games quite a bit. We got Ohio State and Syracuse right there. And I believe we are actually going to be watching I believe that's going to be on the mainstream at the PEC event at the HyperX Arena in Vegas. But we are moving right back into the Boise State-Utah game and actually getting to see Clear use the Pulse Bomb. Not going to find anything. Very strong ultimate, but can be countered in a lot of different ways, especially by characters like Tracer. Who just
Yeah, we see Symmetra out here. The whole rest of the team is playing around that too, but Strider out here just knocking them away, knocking them off point.
That is really the strength of having a Wrecking Ball. Using the rally out, too, from the Hex finally online, and No Sam is down for the count. They don't have a tank anymore. Utah State need to find something here to even it out, but at 95%, Boise State is more than likely going to take this back, but not if Tedia has anything to say about it. He's going to stand on the point, trying to get a little bit of time for his team to come back. Overtime has been redone, but he is completely out of there. Strider ran him down, and Boise State will take the first round for control point.
Wow, what a first round.
What an attempt for a hold from Teddy. I gotta give Teddy some credit there. Using the Tracer, using the ability to get in and get out incredibly fast, using the survivability that you have was just incredibly great. We've seen a lot out of No Sam's Diva. I know he's a really good Diva player, and I love Diva into ball just because you have such a big target, such a big reticle, very little of that pellet is going to go to waste. However, when you're running the Symmetra, it really throws a wrench in that plan.
Yeah, totally. I agree. That's like I was saying earlier. I feel every time I'm up against a Diva in my quick play, it's always right to the Symmetra.
Yeah, always to the Symmetra. For some reason, the Moira too.
Yeah,
we got the main character Moiras.
I feel like it's just those characters that can deal damage in a way that Diva can't block it with her defense matrix.
Yeah, anything that can pass through it really does help. And honestly, that defense matrix is one of the strongest abilities in the game for that reason.
Yeah.
And going into this fight, we're seeing a lot of the same picks, and Clear's actually going to get picked up right away by No Sam as Strider, rolling right into the enemy team, just doing a lot of displacement. Thing is, they're not getting a lot of kills, but they are keeping them from the point, keeping them from a safe spot that they can use to rally together. Boise State really just kind of running them down as Utah is going to try and take the first point.
Yeah, Tracer going for a pick, but couldn't find anything. Diva, of course, flies right back in to protect her. Lucio. Yeah, Lucio.
Yeah, but PDK on the Cassidy, definitely a good pick into this composition that's had a lot of success in the past before. PDK will go down, though, to a little bit of Tracer and Kiriko action. The Symmetra is right back in play, trying to keep the Diva out of their lines, and Boise State kind of reaping what they sow a little bit, getting a tank right up in their lines. However, a little bit of sentry action from Maxwell is going to clean things up. 27% for Utah, but now this is Boise State.
I feel like we've got to see a tank swap soon from Utah. I feel like this Diva just, especially with the Brig on our team, it's just really hard for Diva to find any picks when she's diving. We've got the Diva, we've got a Symmetra also to counter the Diva, so it's like, we just got to find something there.
Yeah, plus a lot of the turrets do that slow, and it's a little bit harder to get things out, as Tedia is actually going to take out the Symmetra problem. take him down, and Lyric as well. 2 players on the point. Boise State has managed to even things up in percent, with Rally being used from Hex to keep the rest of Boise State alive, and they actually managed to get out Teddy's pulse bomb. Minefield goes down onto the point. Does Teddy see it? No. Yes, he does, and he's able to get away from it, having to use the sound barrier to get right back onto point. Point does go to Utah, but Sonic smashed right into the mines. It may not result in the Boise State point flip. Oh wait, no, it might. They're actually resulting in a lot of ultimates used. Both Kitsune Rushes have hit the field, and PDK has hit the floor. He's gone. That's a huge difference in DPS gone. Ray's gone too. It's a 2v4. Boise State just have to take this point away, and it looks like Sonic not quite fast enough to get away from that. But D-Bomb will find clear, and this point is still being fought hard for.
Yeah, I mean, they're just dumping ult after ult trying to keep this point, but I don't know, Boise's got it on lock.
I will say, all those ults used, Teddy is right back to his pulse bomb. PDK hasn't quite gotten to his high noon yet, but Maxwell still has his, and Clear is close to his as well. They spent about the same amount of ults across that entire fight, even though it looked like one side was dumping ults, and just in the end, that mid-game fight was a little better from Boise State, and they were able to come out on top.
Yeah, definitely got to watch out for Utah's Tracer pulse bomb. Just pick it up, so they might be down the player, but
the Suzu!
Ooh!
Suzu, the clutch Suzu from Lyric was able to save the entire team. That would have been a triple.
I know.
Oh, man. No Sam on to the Hazard. There can't see a lot of in this league, but I've seen No Sam play him to a lot of effect.
Boise State kind of pushing up a bit too far up there. They're falling back. Ooh, uh-oh.
Ooh, the pulse bomb on Hazard.
Come out.
Oh, the pulse bomb on Hazard was just enough. PDK actually using the high noon to try and even things out. Not going to find it. That Symmetra barrier, a little bit too wide for him. Not a lot of spaces that he could use to get in there. 87%. Boise State has to hold on for one more fight. Utah has no ultimates left. Sonic and Ray might be able to get theirs back in time, but that is going to be a hard sell. But the Kitsune Rush coming out from Boise State might make it a little bit easier for him to get in, especially with the minefield. They're going to find 2. Sonic and Ray go down. Teddy is close to follow. Maxwell on a 4K. Is he going to get 5? Yeah. No, the round ends beforehand.
Symmetra.
Man, Boise State takes round 1. What a good first round out of Boise State. And to think, Utah gave them quite a bit of trouble in the last time they played this map. But I think in the end, it was like you were saying, that swap, or I guess not the swap, but the play of the Symmetra into the D.Va was just enough to really strong odds.
Yeah, you see also like toward the end of that game, you saw the D.Va swap to Hazard, and out of like a desperation attempt to get back to point, you see him swap back to D.Va, but it's too late. Yeah. Too soon, too late.
You've already lost all your perks. You've lost all your ult charge. You just don't really have the gas left in the tank to keep going. But you still got 2 more maps to play before Boise State takes it. So if you are Utah, what's your game plan? What are you looking to change going forward?
Personally, I would not. If it was me, I would not go dive tank. I just, knowing Boise's tank options and their best tanks, I would try to build my team comp around something more like fortifying. I would say something like a Zarya pick might do a little better than D.Va, just because, like, especially seeing that Symmetra, the D.Va's just not working.
Yeah, and with a hybrid pick up next, I would put, if I was a betting man, and if I was in Vegas, I would be, but this is just being streamed in Vegas. But if I was a betting man, I would honestly say that they're going to pick Kings Row for the next one. They're moving on to a hybrid map. They got a little bit of control action. They want a map where they can really bully the Wrecking Ball pick, and if there's any good one for it, I would say it's Kings Row. I like the idea of Azaria into that one. Just you have so much, you have so little room to really maneuver as a Wrecking Ball, and you're essentially saying you got to come to me, Azaria, and that's really what you want to see when you're playing that character. Somewhere that you can just sit and build up your beam charge, and that's really what we've seen. A little bit of action out of PDK on the Cassidy was also a really good one. I liked that pick. It just didn't quite come at the right time. A lot of the time we saw PDK kind of get shoved into a corner and not really let out of it by the Wrecking Ball. And also, I mean, he was doing some good damage on clear. I got to give PDK some credit. He's got the aim to really put Boise State in a bind. The issue is he can't be the only one doing it.
We see now that the map they chose is New Junk.
Oh, they're actually...
And we see a Symmetra ban, so
I think
looks like the D.Va's probably mad.
Somebody's mad. No Sam wants to play D.Va, and you can't really do that with the Symmetra. But Yeah, with Maxwell just playing Symmetra so well, I would 100% understand the ban on
Yeah, it was a
Symmetra.
very dominant performance, and it wasn't just like the left click. It was also her turrets did so much to hinder D.Va's mobility that it's like you see, like I feel like I saw in the kill feed maybe 3 times, D.Va got demeched by a Symmetra turret, and it's like,
What am I supposed to do?
what are you supposed to do then? Once that happens, you're just kind of like stalling yourself.
And then also with those turrets too, you can actually shoot them through teleporters as well. So like when you see Maxwell use a teleporter, not really use it, a lot of the time it was to place those the sentries in really miscellaneous spots, and it makes it really hard for defenders to do much into it. But I'll tell you what makes things easier. Our sponsors today at Dairy West. Thanks to today's stream is brought to you in part by local dairy farmers and the dairy protein they produce. Thanks to them, Boise State Esports has next level fueling options that keep our players playing at their peak. Unbottled dairy protein that powers your performance. Visit unbottled.com for more information. But yeah, I would have to, in order to keep going on that one, I think the Symmetra ban was a good one. It'll be interesting to see who Boise State decides to pick, because I doubt they banned their own Symmetra. I wonder if they'll ban the D.Va. If we are truly going to New Junk City, D.Va is really good with it. You got a lot of different places that the point can go when it comes to flashpoint maps. D.Va is really good in those. I doubt they're banning the Wrecking Ball. Because
I could definitely see the dive comp come out even stronger on this map too, especially on hybrid. It's going to be very much more, it's going to be more so even than something like as back and forth like control is, especially when both teams are playing dive. It feels very almost one-sided at times, where one team will get the advantage and then they push up to their spawn and they need to get a pick or they cannot get out.
Yeah, dive is a very back and forth style of play. It's less like brawl and poke, where you kind of just sit there and look at each other for about a minute before anyone dies. With dive, it basically all boils down to who makes the first mistake and how many mistakes does that person make. Because let's say you and I are playing dive against one another, and you dive my backline, and you sit and I make the first mistake, then you could just continue to snowball on that mistake, because I get put in the hot seat. You make mistake after mistake after mistake. The best way to really combat that is to kind of do it at the same time and hope that you get yours first. But that's why a lot of the time in these dive mirror matches, you end up seeing 2 tanks on the point, 2 DPS on the point, a tank and a DPS on the point, because everybody else dies.
It feels very much so like the teams are split, and we're seeing like 3 1v1s or 2v1s happening at the same time, especially with this with D.Va into Wrecking Ball, especially with our Brigitte on our team. D.Va is just like getting shut down over and over, while Wrecking Ball kind of just has free reign over the back line.
Yeah, Lucio and Kiriko are 2 very good characters. They work very well together. They have since Kiriko was launched back in I want to say 23, but that makes me feel so old.
I know, Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 lasted less than 3 years. Can you believe that? That is crazy. It's been a 10-year ride with this game.
I know, glad we're back, though.
I'm very glad we're back to Overwatch. But pretty much ever since Kiriko was introduced, she's worked really well with a lot of different characters. She's been a really good base. She kind of took over the position that Baptiste and Ana really had before her. To be honest, I'm kind of sad about that, because I know Baptiste. But I think that with her, you can get away with a lot more as a tank or as a dive player, because Kiriko can go up with you. You essentially have a 2-man dive, and my Tracer died. Oh, my Wrecking Ball is low and he had to run away. I can just teleport out. It's super low risk, can really just get in and get out. It makes it really easy to really play around some of your counters. But here we go. We're actually going to... I would have lost money if I was a betting man, because we're actually going to Midtown. We're not going to Kings Row. But we still have the Symmetra ban. So what else will be banned? If I were to take a guess, it would probably be D.Va, because I would assume it's Boise State's ban. They're probably going to be banning something that Utah State likes to play. D.Va. Oh, never mind then. Oh, we are waiting on Boise State's ban. I thought I was going a little crazy there. I was like, why would they ban the Symmetra? They liked it.
I know.
I don't think Maxwell would be too happy if they banned the Symmetra.
I agree with your prediction. I feel like a D.Va could be pretty likely. I know that they did ban Symmetra, which also just contributes to that, because if they don't have a Symmetra to counter that,
Yeah.
It's not looking good for Boise State.
Also, you do have to give Symmetra a little bit of credit where credit is due. She's not just good at destroying divas. She's also really good at slowing down dives. Something that's talked about a lot less with her sentries is that they have the slow property.
Yeah.
They do damage, and they slow you. It's why I personally hate them. Oh, the microphone.
Yeah, I feel like the like you obviously can do like a 3 turret like teleport turret bomb, but I feel like that the slow effect, even just with 1 turret out, is much more brutal, especially into a dive comp.
Juno.
And we see a Juno ban.
I like this one too, and I'll tell you why. Juno is really good. Her orbital ray does incredible things, especially with the healing and the damage boost. But a lot of the time, it's really hard to justify playing Juno because it requires a lot of long straight lines that you're going to be fighting on the whole time. And what does Midtown have? A whole lot of those. But here we go. Round 2. Boise State currently leads 1-0. Utes looking for a way right back in, and the Broncos looking to keep their lead on lock. Here we go. Round 2, baby. Boise State versus Utah.
Up there.
I don't think we've seen Midtown from the PBC, or at least out of Boise State. Out of Boise State's
Set up
games,
here.
we haven't really seen any Midtown, which is a little sad. I know a
Set
lot of
up
people
here.
have mixed feelings about it. It's a little bit iffy sometimes.
I
but
love this map.
It's a good map.
personally.
I like it. I like the train station up here. It can be a little bit of a pain to defend, but
Yeah, I feel like there's I can't count on my hand. It's more than 5 times that Boise State has been able to push the enemy team like back to their spawn on this first point as defense. So I'm excited to see. It's already looking like a pretty good competition so far.
ooh, yeah, Teddy is actually going to go down and going down a little early, but Maxwell is going to be taken out as well. We're at an even ball game, 4-on-4. Boise State still looking to hold this point. This point is probably the hardest one to hold out of the entirety of Midtown, I would say. It's just a lot
totally.
harder to really keep people from using a lot of the off angles that are there. But you got Strider up above looking for a dive onto the back line, is actually going to force out the Suzu. Definitely one of the best things there, especially as Ray gets knocked away, having used Swift Step as well to keep themselves alive. But what Strider's doing now is really just taking a lot of the attention from NoSam. He's not really giving the tank any opportunity to really tank. The rest of his team's doing enough damage to keep them locked in that room, and as long as they're locked up there, they're not going to be doing a whole lot, but Lyric and Hex are both going to fall to the pressure. Teddy is going to find Maxwell as well. Clear and Strider are going to find theirs, but Clear goes down to PDK in the end, and 2 does not equal 5, so that point is going to start ticking for Utah.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the Diva pick out of Utah as well. I feel like it's definitely going to be a lot more useful now.
Ooh, yeah, but with the minefield online, that's going to create a very big diversion. They can't quite keep themselves on that point for much longer lest they explode, but it also gives Boise State time to get the rest of their team back. Override protocols out of a mirror trying to do a little bit of damage in the process, but Strider just holding on to that point strong, and it gives Clear plenty of time to get right back into the action. And here goes Teddy Apaya. Strider going to find him early on as Maxwell going up on the top side, trying to pressure out Sonic. Out comes the Diva Bomb, but Maxwell, he's caught by the Ficus. Oh, caught in tree jail, not able to get out. Truly a tragic sight. But Boise State is actually going to hold on to this first point. 1 tick left to go, and Boise State has tons of ults to work with. Ray
Yeah, there's
and
like
Sonic being
there's
the
like
ones on Utah's
10%
side.
left on that point. It's a miracle that they didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, really just having that minefield online from Wrecking Ball was really what made that one. Just having that ability to lock down a point is incredibly... It's basically the reason you take Wrecking Ball.
And Maxwell getting the pick on the Diva after getting shoved in that corner.
Oh.
I was shocked.
PDK going down before the sound barrier gets to him too. That is a huge pick. Clear goes down too, but they're still even on DPS as the Kitsune Rush comes through. Out goes Teddy Apaya from the Wrecking Ball, just rolling around, not letting anybody rest for even a second, but it's just 2 supports and a tank. Boise State has 4 players left on the field, and Strider almost has his ult back.
Utah State surprisingly pushing up in this disadvantage, but ooh, now we see Clear has Vendetta ult. You gotta watch out for that.
And not to mention the overclock from Maxwell, no kills found with it, but it was enough to really push them back. 48 seconds remain as the Kitsune Rush is used. Out comes the slash. Who's it gonna find? Ooh. It's gonna get Teddy! Oh, wrong place, wrong time at its finest. and also No Sam's going to get found as well, but
They do get the point.
Unfortunately for Boise State, just not enough time left on that clock to really get back to the point.
Looks like Clear here is kind of getting left in the dust by his team.
You know, sometimes it's just what you need. You're going to force 2 people up to handle you, and here comes Strider out to bully him with you. I mean, you have Sonic and Ray up there, as well as Teddy, who has the duplicate to get out of a sticky situation if needed, but in the end, you don't really want to use your ult just for one person. You kind of want to use it in the thick of things just to make sure that you can get things done, get a kill from it. But Clear and Lyric both falling. Utah is going to push Boise State even farther back.
Hey there. Stop the payload.
Utah State pushing the cart. I don't... Oh, yeah. Strider's down.
Yeah, Strider's going down. He's going to be back here pretty quick, though. The cart is about halfway through, just about under that bridge.
Maxwell gets picked. That's an upset.
That is a really big pick, especially in the mid-fight here where your entire team isn't quite back yet. Hex trying to bash right back into the building. He's able to live it, but only barely. Out comes the override protocols. That's going to find Hex in the end, but Lyric is still able to get away from it. Sonic actually goes down too. 2 supports down on both sides, but Maxwell going to go down to the ult as well. No Sam using the self-destruct, looking for a pick, isn't going to find it, but he will find Clear in the end as Lyric has to double back to heal Strider. Boise State have about one more fight on this point, about 1:30 left to go, and they got to hold them here.
Enemy in sight. They're targeting me.
Oh, you see Strider in the back line looking for something. He's doing a really good job of stalling them.
Yeah, stalling right now is really big, especially stalling supports, so that way they can't do a lot of damage. But out comes the Vendetta duplicate from Teddy. Definitely an interesting one, but with the sound barrier from Sonic, you have the opportunity to do a lot. And Teddy's alone on the point. He's pushing it. Do they see him? Here comes Clear at the perfect time. And Teddy is not going to be able to use his ultimate from that duplicate. That is huge. Just barely able to get back from Clear. And with the minefield,
too.
It's going to be really hard for No Sam to get out of there. Got 3 ults on the board for Boise State to use. About the same from Utah. A lot of stuff that can happen, especially with Teddy right in the back line there. And Sonic is going to get found by Strider, going to get rolled right over. Teddy is still in the back line, and he goes down early. Hex takes out Ray as well. 2 players left from Utah. 20 seconds left to go. Can they get back in time for a final fight? No Sam currently sitting very close to his ultimate, but once again we've hit that 15-second mark. Teddy on the Tracer, looking to make a beeline for the back line, but can he get there with all the ultimates being used? Out comes the Retribution Sword out of the Vendetta. It isn't going to find anything, but nobody's on the point. Teddy got back. He's triggered the overtime. That's what they needed. Utah needs to stay on the point for overtime. Can they make it? Barely able to get back. They need to find a way back onto this point. Hex goes down. Overclock used. It's going to find Teddy Apaya. Not only that, they're able to get the remech from No Sam. PDK goes down to the overclock as well. They're currently down, but they can still bring this back. Sonic goes down as well. Ray is going to find Lyric. One less support for Boise State's roster, but there's only 2 people left. It's going to be really hard to get this one done. Down goes Ray and Clear. It is a tank versus tank, and when you're Baby Diva, there's no way you're getting back. Boise State hold Utah right before point 2.
Wow. All I can say is, wow, that Maxwell play was crazy. The overclock.
Switching sides.
What a good fight. And once again, I got to give my hat off to Teddy. I did not expect him to get back there in time. That 1 single second touch, he got there just in time. We're able to recall out and reset for the final fight. That's exactly what Utah needed in order to get that one done.
Yeah, had me really nervous about her retake too.
But in the end, Boise State was able to hold it, and that's where it counted most. They were able to get a few more picks earlier on. We saw Utah take out a few of Boise State's supports, but in the end, it was Ray and Sonic who fell first on the Utah line, and they don't have the same potential to get back. I mean, except for maybe Sonic. Sonic could probably get back if you're a Lucio rollout god, but...
Yeah, but it's also so doomed because of that Maxwell overclock. It's just like he's awaiting to pick people.
Yeah, you take out Sonic, you take out PDK, and then you take out Ray right afterwards. And you put just enough damage on No Sam that even if you go down, someone like Strider can really finish him off. And that's exactly what we saw out of that one. But here we go. Boise State just has to recreate the magic, and they got to push it a little bit farther. Basically, got to get to second point in order to take this round. Utah looking at a very hard hold here, but it's Midtown. It is a very defender-sided for that second point.
Defend objective A.
I've also been loving seeing this this Brig pick out of Hex. I just feel like it's been doing so much against the dive, and because of he's able to keep Lyric alive, he's able to keep Maxwell alive. You could see earlier on, you'd see Teddy picking Echo, and just almost each time he almost got Maxwell, Brig was there to save the day.
Oh,
nice pick by Clear.
What a pick out of Clear, too. Barely able to snipe him out from a crevice, and he's actually going to take out No Sam in the same string. Utah only has Teddy left as he just respawned, but I don't think he might be able to get back in time. We saw how far he was able to go 15 seconds last time. Oh, yep, there he is, actually. He's actually able to trigger the overtime. Or not the overtime, but he's able to he's able to stall the point for a little bit for the rest of the team to get back, and that's what they needed. And unfortunately for Maxwell,
barely picked.
A little bit too much movement for Maxwell, not able to get back. Can't even blame it on the tree that time, but Utah just off the point for half a second, and that was all it took for Boise State to take it.
Ooh, PDK gets picked by the railgun. Maxwell getting a double. Hex getting a double. That's what I'm saying about this Brig pick, dude. Look at Brig into Tracer. It's just like, what do you do as Tracer?
It's like softcore bullying, honestly.
Yeah, you basically just gotta wait for your pulse bomb and then pray you get a pick.
Or you just try to put the moves on the Bray.
Yeah.
You just put the bash onto Sonic, and that's all you need to do. Ray goes down as well early. Out comes the Diva Bomb, looking to stay alive for a little bit longer. No Sam actually is going to get taken out, but there's your pulse bomb into X. I mean, maybe you were right. Maybe that is how you take him out as Tracer, but Lyric is going to get it back. It doesn't matter if you take out the Brig. The Kiriko is just going to stab you.
Yeah.
But here we go. Boise State have 4 minutes left in the bank.
Ooh, I like this Wrecking Ball swap. This is interesting.
We've seen a lot of Wrecking Ball out of No Sam in the past, but the overclock just proved a little bit too much. Kitsune Rush coming through from Lyric, looking to do a little bit more damage, and out comes the override protocols from PDK on Amir. Trying to target out Lyric, isn't quite going to find it. They're really not stopping anyone from using that Kitsune Rush, but they also were stopped from getting there themselves. Utah falls, and Boise State will take game 2 on match point. Utah really sweating this one.
Yeah, Boise State just saving all of their ults for that last bit of push. You really see, like, you see the Kitsune Rush, you see the Minefield, you see the overclock to pick their tank. It's like there's really nothing that they could do as soon as the cart got past that bridge.
Yeah, but we would like to first give a quick sponsor to ICCU. Thanks to ICCU for their continued support of Boise State Esports. Thanks to them, Boise State has won multiple national championships and piled up more than 1,500 wins. We might have to update that number sometime soon. But ICCU, looking after your daily balance. Visit iccu.com for more information.
Bryce, I gotta ask you, who was your favorite pick from Boise State that game?
Oh, man, if I had to pick a favorite. Honestly, I got to give Maxwell credit where credit is due on the Sojourn. I mean, sure, his biggest enemy in that match was definitely the tree. I mean, it's truly unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of the really good early picks that we want to see out of a comp like this. The thing is about Wrecking Ball is that you can't really rely on a front line in order to get your points for you. You need somebody to get an opening pick first. You need somebody to disrupt the back line. You basically just need to make people look in multiple different directions at once, and I feel like Maxwell did a really good job of that. You saw Teddy trying to go into the back line. You bringing up Hex quite a bit on the Brig, and I do have to agree with you there, but I think Maxwell was a really big force in that as well. We saw a lot of times Teddy and Maxwell were both playing against one another really well. However, in the end, one railgun to the head is going to be enough to take him out, and I feel like we saw that a lot with the overclocks from Maxwell as well. But if I had to ask the same question, what would you say is the best pick?
Well, I would have said Maxwell, and then you reminded me of the Brig pick by Hex, and knowing that, I guess I would have to say the Brig, because you just like, I guess this is also some of my bias, but I'm a support player and I just love seeing that like underdog support, like unsung hero defending their backline, and you see that come into play against the Tracer, like over and over again. The Tracer's diving, but Brig is there to stop it until the pulse bomb. But
yeah, I honestly would also like to give a lot of credit to Tedia. I feel like Tedia and his Tracer, while it was getting shut down a lot by the Brig, by Maxwell on the Sojourn, we saw a lot of really good play out of the dive. We saw a lot of really good plays by No Sam on the Diva. We saw a lot of good dives by Tedia as well. In fact, a lot of times Tedia was actually able to get a few picks before going down, and that's really all you can ask for a dive character. Not just running there and feeding, but also being able to get a few picks on the way out. And we saw that a whole lot with a lot of these players. Just in the end, that Brig was able to keep people up for a long enough time that it was a lot harder to really get things done. But moving on to push, Esperanza is where we're going for our match point. Sojourn and Wrecking Ball ban. Figured the Wrecking Ball ban would come on push, but I'm honestly surprised that we haven't seen a little bit more Wrecking Ball out of No Sam. No Sam, he's a very good Diva player, but he's played a lot of Wrecking Ball too, so a lot of the success that Utah has had has actually been in those mirror matches of Wrecking Ball. So we'll have to see how this one plays out with the Sojourn ban. I think Maxwell's kind of been getting a little bit of target ban for this one. A lot of the bans have been the ones he's liked to play, but here we go. Match point for Boise State. Can they win this one and take round 2 home, or will Utah fight on for just a little bit longer? Push maps get a lot of hate. I like this one. This is probably my favorite.
I do too. I totally agree. I love Esperanza. I mean, like, it also is kind of nostalgia for me, I guess, but I just I've had so much fun playing Echo on this map.
I remember I play a lot of Tracer on this map. I don't play. I suck at DPS. It's like the one role I have no idea how to play. Which you'd think is simple. You just click heads and win, but there's so much more going on with it that you just don't really get until you actually start playing the role. But Boise State has found a lot of success with the dive here, but it looks like we're moving on to the Zarya. Zarya and Malga. We're going to be seeing a little bit of that. I will say, the Malga pick into this one's good. You can burn down the Zarya fairly easy, burn through her bubbles, but if you're going to burn her bubbles, you got to kill the Zarya. Otherwise, you're facing what's basically a raid boss.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I really like seeing the Malga pick. I feel like I don't see him enough. I really like that character. I like watching that character.
Ooh. Maxwell on the Symmetra is actually going to go down really early to PDK. Not really what you want to see, and PDK going to find 2 more before going out, and Sonic going to find 1 too. Only Hex is able to live through that encounter, and Maxwell is already on to the Cassidy. Clear on Tracer too.
I like this like quick team comp change. They're being super adaptive and proactive against this Utah comp, and in my opinion, better switch late better switch early than late, because you still get access to all of your perks. You're building perks. You're building ult charge, especially on a pick like Cassidy.
Yeah, you're just not losing them too. You're continuing to build them, and that's the really big thing that a lot of people fail to estimate when it comes to counter swapping. Clear is actually going to get taken out by Tedia really early on. Not what
Tracer 1v1. That's surprising.
Yeah, and with just the Tracer pushing out, Strider can't really get out there to do anything on the Zarya unless he wants to be burned down. We've been seeing a lot of damage coming out of No Sam, and that has kind of just gone unpunished because he's sitting on the high ground.
Oh, nice pick from Maxwell. I feel like it's any hit scan. Maxwell just got it down.
I mean, Maxwell, I've talked to Maxwell a few times, and he says that he doesn't like Soldier's ult because he can't headshot.
Oh, yeah.
Which, there is some truth to that, but we've seen a lot of success out of him on the hit scan heroes. That's why we see him play those more than not. And overall, that's kind of the comfort characters we've seen him on.
Even when he gets target banned, it's like there's always another hit scan that he can play, and he still shows a very dominant performance.
Out comes the pulse bomb. It isn't going to meet its
the
mark,
robot.
but Teddy is going to go down to
goes
Hex.
Teddy.
Oh, unfortunate, but both supports are actually doubling back to help them, and Strider's by himself. Lyric's able to get back in time, but a PDK, and believe it or not, Mauga diving onto him is going to be enough to take him out. Out comes the cage, but it is just No Sam by himself in that cage. Nobody there to help, and with the Deadeye from Maxwell to keep him up, with a little bit of damage resistance. It's not going to keep him alive forever, but it will keep him alive through most of it. Ray is able to get right back to help out the Mauga.
Hex just barely escapes.
Oh, that's Lucio for you. Actually, Strider going down too. They're gonna have to wait for him to come back. But with the Graviton Surge,
It's a pretty unfortunate stall.
taking
Clear
out
almost
Juno, too.
picks the Juno.
Enemy forward.
Forward spawn taken from Utah. Definitely what they want going into this matchup. They're going to be able to spawn a little bit closer to the front line. Boise State going to have to take it all the way back to reset it. Already jumping in. Clear doesn't find a ton of damage, but he is going to force out a recall, and sometimes that is what you want to see. Neither Tracer's having recall is definitely a boon for both teams.
Oh, this is totally a grab angle. I can totally see it happening. They're scared. They're playing up.
It's a grab angle, but you have all the enemy teams sitting up on that high ground, and they can't really contest it easy. They can't contest it on the low ground, and they can't really leave the robot either, because Tedia is just sitting there, right on the left. He's waiting for him to push up just a little bit too far so he can take the ball all the way over, but out comes the Graviton Surge, and it makes the Orbital Ray useless! Ray is gone too! Rally comes through, but is it going to be enough to keep the whole team up? I think not, Sonic. Strider is going to get taken down, but in the end, I think Boise State have this one up. Oh, wait, no. Teddy's going to find one. It's a Tracer v Tracer using the Pulse Bomb. No stick, no joy, and Boise State are going to push this robot all the way, or are going to push it up. No more forward spawn for you. Oh, wait, no. They're going to keep it. They're going to keep their forward spawn. No Sam has something to say about it.
That pulse bomb was like such a disheartening miss. If that pulse bomb went off, they would have probably got a pretty significant push off of that.
Yeah, especially with the rest of the team dead, Boise State did have to wait for a lot of their teammates to come back, and we're really starting to see we're starting to see what we were talking about in the last game with the brig plays. Sonic on the brig is really just kind of making Clear's life a lot harder than it has to be. Not really letting him get up and do things, but getting a big stun. Max was able to keep a lot of Utah in one spot, forcing out the recall from the Tracer. Out comes the Deadeye. Forces them off the bot in order to stay away from instant death with the override protocols from PDK. They gotta either focus him down or something, but PDK is going to find Maxwell in the process. Lyric going down too. The Ana swap is an interesting one, but Hex actually finding Teddy in the process.
Oh, and we see Mauga running in right now. Oh, Hex is gone.
Ray gone as well. It's a tank v tank, but Mauga will win the DPS battle every single day if it comes down to it.
Stalled. That's not good.
Yeah, Boise State really just struggling to take out the front line. They're trying to play into this brawl comp that they've played. They haven't played a ton of Mauga in this season of the PEC. He's not really been a character that many people have decided to play, but the fact that No Sam can bring him out and have this much success really just shows how good a player he is. I do think I understand the Ana pick now, trying to get that anti onto a character like Mauga, who really requires the healing in order to stay up, is going to be necessary.
I always love seeing an Ana. I think Ana might be my favorite character in the game.
Out comes the cage. He's not able to get to Lyric in time to save him, but also that nano boost comes through. Teddy is going to go down, and the pulse bomb finally sticks. Maxwell's going to get taken out. It is just Hex and Clear left alive. Clear on about 1 health, not able to save from the silver bullet, and Hex is going to go down as well, and we're seeing a tank swap out of Strider on to the Junker Queen, another character we haven't seen a whole lot of this season either. Lyric back on the Kiriko.
I feel like this pick is it's going to do a lot more than Wrecking Ball is here, just because like how much the team is grouped. The Wrecking Ball doesn't really get a chance to get a pick, like a dive pick on their backline, especially with Mauga ult.
Yeah, the Zarya definitely was not working. Just the lack of any sort of mobility was definitely hurting the team. But another override protocol from PDK. He has just built these so incredibly fast throughout the entire game. The knife pulling in, no Sam. Strider looking for a little bit more damage, and Clear is already on the back line doing a little bit of damage himself, but it is not enough to keep Hex alive as PDK goes down. It's just Clear there, having to force the rally, but it's not enough to save No Sam. Oh, the fight continues to go on. Teddy goes down. It's just the rallied Brig. Can Clear take him out?
Yet again, Brig versus Tracer. This is the most brutal matchup.
Oh wait, no, Hex is there. We've talked about Brig versus Tracer, but never Brig versus Lucio. Oh, and here comes Malcolm.
Yeah.
It feels like the same thing has happened every time. Boise State wins a fight, then Malga comes back, and because it's just Tracer on the point, you can't really do a whole lot to contest.
Yeah, that forward spawn is so crucial for Utah right now.
Yeah, Clear just trying to chase him away while he's on a little bit less health than he would like. Maxwell trying to take the high ground, taking quite a bit of damage in the process. PDK has just done a really good job at zoning out Maxwell in the process. I mean, you just have that high ground, you might as well use it, and PDK has used it to its full effectiveness on the Emir, but now Maxwell's trying to get up and use it himself.
Yeah, I feel like what needs to happen, Maxwell needs to get a pick in order to break that team, but it's just not happening. And Sonic with the pick.
Yeah, Lyric is actually going to get a pick in the process. Maxwell going to go down to the shield bash. Lyric is oh so low and not quite able to swift step back, forcing out the pulse bomb from Clear 2, not finding its mark. Having to use the recall to get back. Just trying to contest the robot. 60 seconds remain in the match, and Boise State has not really had a substantial push up to this point.
It feels very one-sided here, just like, or not one-sided, I would say a stalemate almost, because even when Boise does wipe Utah, they have forward spawns, so they're back there in like 10 seconds.
The bigger issue is that they can't really seem to completely wipe Utah. They keep leaving Teddy or PDK or No Sam alive, and they're able to just touch the point for enough time to get the rest of the team back and ready to go. And really, that's kind of what's been the thorn in the side for Boise State this entire time. Just not being able to withstand Teddy's dives, not really being able to contest PDK on the high ground either. But now moving into final fight territory, Boise State's going to have to win about 4 fights right now in order to keep themselves up. Out comes the Kitsune Rush, looking to get something out of it into the cage to keep people off the point. Hex taking so much damage, and the override protocol going to be enough to take down both supports. It is just the DPS line, and by that I mean just Maxwell now. Overtime continues to tick down, and Utah will take their first round, sitting, scoring 1-2. So we are going to map 4.
That's going to be exciting. I like I said earlier, I feel like this more brawler comp is Utah's finding, not only are they finding more success with it, but Boise State is having a harder time dealing with it. There's like Mauga Cage. Mauga Cage is a huge one, especially in this last fight here with Kiriko. Ult?
Yeah, Kitsune Rush?
Kitsune Rush. I almost said Foxfire. I was thinking Ari. But that Kitsune Rush just immediately gets shut down by a cage.
Yeah, but we would like to first give a quick shout out to our friends at the Idaho Air National Guard. What if you could pursue college or your dream career while serving your country and getting amazing benefits? The Idaho Air National Guard. Just 1 weekend a month, 8 months out of the year. You'll get tuition assistance, signing bonus to healthcare, 0-down home loans, high-tech job training, all while keeping your civilian life and goals right here in Idaho. Whether you're studying, working, or building your future, the Guard enhances it all while giving you leadership skills and lifelong connections. Ready to have it all? The Idaho Air National Guard has everything for you. But yeah, overall, Boise State still at match point. Utah need to win 2 more in order to win. They need 1 more to go to match point. Next map is going to be Flashpoint, and the Wrecking Ball ban is completely off the table. They can't do that anymore. However, I think on a map like Flashpoint, while Wrecking Ball can be a really good pick, a pick like Mauga that can really just anchor down on the point is a really, really big deal. And I think Boise State need to figure out a way to take out the Mauga. Either I don't think that's going to require a ban. I think it's just going to require a little bit more strategic thinking. And also, the Tracer. Like, we swapped off the Brig to deal, or who was dealing with the Tracer beforehand, and we just never really got back to it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I feel like especially that Brig pick from Utah, was so substantial in like Boise State could get a pick, but if Brig is defending the rest of their back line, there's not really much room to like finish the team off.
I was 100% wrong. They are going to ban Malga.
Oh, wow.
They're going to ban Malga and Servasa. But after what Malga just did on Esperanza, I definitely understand it.
Yeah, very reasonable.
It'll be Malga Brig ban. So both of the characters we were saying were being kind of a pain are going to be gone.
What kind of comps do you think are going to come out of those two bans?
I think it'll be somewhat similar to what Boise State rolled out on. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be that Zarya, Lucio Kiriko, maybe a Sojourn, and if I were to take a guess, a Tracer, maybe a Cassidy Tracer. But really, what matters for this fourth game, we're on match point. Boise State just need to win one more to take it home. But they really need to figure out how to deal with Tracer, because Teddy getting 2 picks in about half a second is not a key to its success.
Yeah, it's very brutal for Boise State to deal with, especially like even just like the stray pulse bombs. I feel like there's been a few, yeah, not all of them are landing, but when they do, it's very devastating.
I was right.
You were exactly right.
I hit the nail on the head there. But Utah rolling out on the Diva. Definitely not anticipating the pick of a Symmetra again. But luckily for them, no Symmetra pick. Clears right back on the Tracer this time around. But now Strider is able to use the Wrecking Ball pick that he likes to use so much. And Sonic is going to go down early to Maxwell. Definitely a good pick, taking out a lot of the speed and also having to use both cooldowns. Kiriko doesn't have any sort of out, and Maxwell is going to take him down.
Yeah, that Kiriko is like just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Ooh, yeah, lots of damage coming through. PDK will find Strider in the end, but Boise State will take the point. In Flashpoint, the point ticks up a lot faster than in Control, so even holding onto it for a single team fight, that's an easy 40 to 50%. Boise State just need to hold onto it for a little bit, and they will be well on their way.
I was going to mention that these dive comps, especially Boise's dive comp on this map, I think is a lot stronger than what we were seeing last game. I feel like Flashpoint, by nature, is like your team has got to move very far, very fast, and because of that, Wrecking Ball just gets free reign on their backline.
Yeah, and Teddy is going to go down early too to clear. If it isn't a Brig taking him out, it's another Tracer. Hex going to get really low, but Sonic goes down in the process. It's like we're talking about. They're forcing them to look in multiple different directions at the same time. They were looking at Hex, but they weren't, and they were trying to look at Clear as well. Can't do both. No Sam goes down to Strider. Just a ton of pressure from the Wrecking Ball. Utah probably not going to get back to fight a third time for this point, and Boise State will take point 1. We got to see where this one goes to. Flashpoint, there's a lot of game left to play. There's 5 points total. Plenty of time for Utah to get right back into it. And looks like they're taking out the Wrecking Ball of their own.
I'm super excited to see this overclock, and I feel like Maxwell's excited to use it.
He's getting jittery. He knows what's about to happen. Oh no! No,
wow.
Sam also knows what's about to happen. And he's going to take out Clear too. Oh wait, no, he's going to take out Lyric as well. Clear used the Pulse Bomb and didn't quite find what he was looking for. Boise State down 2 players on this point and not really looking like they're going to be able to get any picks of their own.
Oh, Strider.
He's going to use the Minefield. He's not going to find anything, but out comes the Overclock looking for a pick. He's going to find anything. The Pulse Bomb will find Strider. Not something you see every day, the Wrecking Ball dying to the Pulse Bomb, but the Override is going to find Maxwell in the end. PDK going to find 1, but the point was flipped for Boise. It's not going to be a ton of percentage for them unless they win this fight, but with the Kitsune Rush, they're thinking that they will win this one. Going to be matched out by Utah. It looks like Sonic's going down early. Out comes the barrier. Man, they are really fighting to keep this point with 25% and counting.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they opted to do that when Strider was out of the picture, but because he's playing Wrecking Ball, he just rolls straight back to point.
He's able to get right back there, and it looks like the sound barrier of Utah's own is going to come through, and the minefield as well, going to pretty much shut down that entire area, and No Sam is going to knock them away. Going to be able to flip the point for the rest of the team as Teddy and the entire team actually is going to clean up the hamster, but not Clear. Clear is still there. He's Teddy, you think you're sneaky.
What is going on here?
Clear is the creepy guy in the bushes. Get over here.
Definitely looking for a pulse bomb play here. Their whole team is funneled right down in that corridor. Or a C9.
Or he's looking to sneakily backcap, but Sonic is going to catch him out. Lyric and Maxwell both going down. Actually, Kiriko's going to get traded out. It's a Lucio on both sides, but they're forcing No Sam back to the point in order to deal with Clear, and that's exactly what you want. A lot of damage coming through from a lot of different angles. Out comes the pulse bomb, and it kills Clear! Oh no, not what you want to see, but with No Sam so low, he is most likely not long for the world, and if he is, he's not going to be doing a ton with it. Override protocols, once again, they are going to be enough. He seems to have that so frequently.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. The No Sam just barely escapes, and because of that, you can obviously see how that turned out for Boise State.
Yeah,
The override just like...
Yeah, they're not really going to fight for it. I think using all those ults was a good thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Just to keep that point yours, but in the end, they weren't able to take out No Sam, weren't able to take out PDK. No one really important was dying, but now the rest of the team, both teams are just kind of going at it with one another, trying to build a little bit of ult charge. Hex looking for the superior Lucio, but unfortunately for him, Tedia is going to get in on that 1v1. Maxwell actually swapping over to the Torbjorn, something we've seen a little bit out of him in the past.
10 seconds.
Honestly, not sure how much I like that one as compared to the Cassidy. I think I like
Yeah.
the Cassidy pick just a little bit more, but I'm not the one on the computer, so...
I feel like Maxwell's got the skill to shut down that Tracer with the Cassidy. You just got to be more on your toes about which angle she's approaching from.
That point will go to Boise State to begin. That's going to be early picks for them. That's going to be early ticks for them, and two ultimates used, the sound barrier and the minefield, both
And
used
then we see
from
the
Utah.
Kitsune Rush come out as well.
Oh yeah, tons of ultimates used. Just trying to take that point back, not letting Boise State build up an early lead like they did last time. Strider actually going to take PDK off the map. Kitsune Rush from Lyric is going to be canceled out by the minefield. Not what you want to see out of Boise State, but they are still holding in there. They're going to get Ray in the end. It is two players
That's a
left.
huge pick.
2 players left. Boise State has that point almost to 50%. Actually, no, 50%. Still counting up. Tedia is going to go down in the end. Sonic as well. No Sam, the only survivor. 63%. Utah's about one more fight here.
Yeah, Teddy's also got the pulse bomb, and PDK is getting his ult up, so it's definitely gonna be a close fight here.
And what would it be without another override protocol? Man, I feel like he has that every other fight. That is...
I know, that ult charge is so fast.
Yeah, just having that advantage using the one ult was enough to push the rest of Boise State back, not having any ultimates to use to get them back. And Maxwell off the map. Clear going to find Teddy Apaya. One pick, and it looks like Clear is going to try and take this point right back for Boise State. And with a little bit of help from Strider keeping the team off, they're going to find Ray in the process. PDK and Ray, 2 down. Utah still have 3 left to go, and as they continue to hold on to this point, 2 ults are being built. Strider and Clear both having theirs. Sonic falling as well. No Sam also looking a little worse for wear. It's just 1 left, and No Sam is in no fit condition to keep running, and Boise State continue to
Teddy
lay
gets
it
the touch
down.
though for overtime.
You got the
And
touch.
doesn't amount to anything. Damn.
Yeah, the thing is, it was about the opposite of what we were seeing last game. That time it was the Tracer from Utah's side able to get to the point to stall it for a little bit of time, but Boise State able to get it right back. Strider just doing a little bit of the pinball tech into wrecking into No Sam, really just pinging and ponging around, really just doing whatever he wants.
Yeah,
But right on the back line.
I was gonna mention. I feel like I know I thought the Torbjorn was a questionable pick, but I was watching last point, and you see the turrets. It's doing it right now, just targeting that Lucio.
Oh,
Can't
Sonic.
do anything.
Oh, Sonic, you might be fast, but you're not that fast, and the turret was still able to get you, but the minefield coming through is going to make things a little bit harder, and the minefield from Strider as well is going to make the entire thing inhabitable. Strider and Maxwell both going down, or both getting kills, and Ray finding one as well. Maxwell goes down, but in the end, that is going to be a Boise State point. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to be your unbottled play of the game, brought to you by dairy farmers and the dairy protein they produce. Visit unbottled.com for more information. Here we go. Boise State, the only ones with points on the board for this 4th point. This will be the make or break for Utah. if they win this point, they got one more chance to bring this to a map 5 match point, and they still have quite the opportunity to get that done. A little bit of shields given from the Wrecking Ball, having to use the Kitsune Rush. Out comes the Sound Barrier from Hex, keeping the rest of the team alive. Few more ults to work with from Boise State as Ray goes down in the fighting, and the Pulse Bomb finds the floor. PDK goes down too. The Sojourn pick is not quite working out. 71% for Boise State. Hex almost dead, but he's able to live. Just a little bit of health remaining. Clear being able to take out Sonic. 83%.
I
Boise
feel like
State.
Utah has got to get a touch here. I mean, yeah, they totally are getting. Oh!
Missed the Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, that Pulse Bomb was so close too. It would have been huge.
Yeah, Kitsune Rush is going to come through for what could be the final fight of this series. Utah is getting chipped away, and No Sam, the only one on the point. One more touch on the point from Teddy Apaya. Can he keep it up? He's going to get clear. That's a good one to get if you're going to get anybody, but he's going to get picked right after by Lyric, and no one's there to touch the point. Boise State will win the game 3-1, beating Utah and moving forward. But what a series it was. Utah able to get a map against these players was great, and a little bit of a Lucio player game.
I always loved the Lucio.
Oh man, but what a match it was. We saw a lot of good play out of both teams, a lot of really good strategy coming through, and I gotta say, what a map to start us off. We got one more match today, but if you didn't want to miss any one of them, it would have been that one. Boise State getting a little bit of revenge on Utah after Utah beat them the last time they played in the PEC. So I gotta say, what a game.
Yeah, it feels really bad because you see Utah's dominance in Esperanza, and solely because of their picks. Like they had their team strategy down, but it just happened too late in the series.
A little too late, and it happened on their end. They just weren't able to keep it going. That was the real big thing.
Yeah.
Not being able to keep that streak going through. But I mean, we saw a lot of really good play out of everybody. I really liked a lot of the Tracer stuff. I really liked a lot of the team compositions. But that is going to be all for Game 1 for today. We're going to hop on to a short break before we get into our next match, and I promise you, it is going to be another one that you're not going to want to miss.
Now earn up to 4 times the rewards with the ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card. It's the credit card from the credit union you love.
How's it look so far? Comfortable?
Yes. Times and places all in who you share them with. Joy.
I got in.
Who you share it with.
This is a great use of your home equity.
Who you share it with.
Since you guys have been in here, some things have changed. We've updated this place to be in its final form. New cabinets, new counters, all sorts of new stuff in here. This has turned into a place that wouldn't look out of place at an SEC or Big Ten football facility, and Dairy West has allowed us to have it here. We've taken a holistic approach to our player nutrition, and we're really thankful that Dairy West has made sure that our fueling station is the best in college esports and really at industry standard for any college athletic department.
My friends know me as Derek, but I'm also Master Sergeant Raxter. This is my life in the Air National Guard.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. It's finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great. Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
Love Powers Up Pokey. Thank you.
Shout out Powers of Pokey, feeding us lunch. Appreciate y'all.
Just finished feeding the football team. Always a pleasure. Go Broncos.
Hello and welcome back to the Boise Esports Arena right here in the studio. You join us for our broadcast over the B stream of PEC Overwatch, coming off a great Boise State Utah game, ending 3-1 in Boise State's favor. Great game with some great plays, and overall, I can't wait to see our next one. I'm your host, Bryce, joined by my co-host, Tony, and I gotta say, what a great game to start things off.
Very strong performances from both teams. I feel like the only thing stopping Utah from winning that was not picking the right characters earlier in the set. You see the Mauga band and the Brigitte band come out both at the same time. Utah doesn't really have that just like really shut down their plan.
Yeah, you had the Tracer pick who was kind of getting shut down by the Brig. You had the Diva who's getting shut down by Symmetra super early on. In fact, I'm really surprised we didn't see more Symmetra later on. I mean, I thought about that during the break, and I was like, you think with how much Diva was played, they would play a little bit more Symmetra. But I guess with the ban round one, you can't really help that one. You got to take at least one game off. But that game is done. We're moving on to the next game in our coverage for today, which, if I remember right, we are going to be watching the one of the losers rounds. I think we're watching Nebraska-Baylor as they play. But here's a quick look at the bracket so far. Syracuse ended up beating Kansas. They're going to be playing Ohio State here pretty quick. We got Kansas, who lost in their first round against Syracuse. They'll be playing against the freshly defeated Utah. And then the winners of those two games will be moving forward in the bracket, respectively. Boise State will play the winner of Syracuse-Ohio State. If I were to take a wager, I think Ohio State's going to win that one just because seed one.
Yeah.
And then then Ohio State, or the loser of Syracuse-Ohio State will will play the winner of Baylor-Nebraska, which I feel like Baylor-Nebraska is going to be a really interesting one. If I had to say who would win that one, I would say Nebraska is really strong contention. They have some strong players, but I feel like Baylor is a little bit of a slept-on pick. They've kind of been a little bit iffy throughout the season so far, but they've definitely hung in there with some of the better teams. And really seeing in a stage setting like this, it's a different setting. It's something that a lot of players haven't really been accustomed to. So being on a stage gives you a little bit more. It's not really the jitters, but it's like
it puts the pressure on for sure.
That is exactly what I'm looking for. It definitely puts on the pressure, but something that alleviates a lot of our pressure are our friends over at Boise State Extended Studies. Get your degree on a schedule that works for you. Boise State Extended Studies offers a variety of fully online courses and degrees to help you get your degree on your schedule. Visit boisestate.edu/extended studies for more details. But overall, I think a lot of these matchups in the bracket from here on out are going to be very interesting ones. I mean, I was talking a little bit about Baylor, Nebraska. We're going to be eventually we're going to see Syracuse and Ohio State play each other. I think that's going to be a really good one. Ohio State has been a very, very good competitor over the past few weeks. In fact, during the last few weeks of the PEC, they suffered some of their first losses that they've had in the conference as a whole. So I wonder if that has any sort of bearing on how they're going to be playing, if they've changed some things up. I would really like to see it. In fact, Boise State was actually able to beat them the last time they played. They lost to them the first time in the fall semester, won against them in the spring semester. So that was a very interesting and a very fun game to watch. It went to map 5.
Bryce, I wanted to ask you, for our viewers at home that we're watching for Boise State and are sticking around, how would you describe the competition between Baylor and Syracuse, or Baylor and Nebraska?
Baylor and Nebraska, they're at the bottom of the rankings. I mean, they're good. They have good teams. They have good players, and they bring out some good strategies. But a lot of the time, the synergies don't quite match up to what we see out of other teams, or they're just not quite as prepared for some other stuff. Baylor is new to the PEC this year. They came out swinging in Rocket League. In fact, one of their Rocket League teams is incredibly well. They have a few pro players from the RLCS on that team as well. And in a lot of other areas, they've kind of suffered. They've had a rough season in some other games, but overall, I feel like they are a very solid team who just needs a little bit of work. I know they've struggled against wrecking ball compositions in the past, and Boise State. And what are they known for playing? Wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And Nebraska also kind of suffers from the same thing. They were here last year. They were here for the inaugural season of the PEC. They were very good. They were a very good competitor. And overall, it's a very interesting team to watch. And I am very excited to see which game we end up watching. I think it will be actually, now that I think about it, it might be the Syracuse-Ohio State. I hope it's a Syracuse-Ohio State game because that one is going to be a good one. For a little bit of history about Syracuse, very good competitor for Boise State, very good rival for us. We played them a lot of times. They've actually gotten very close to beating us a few times. They've gotten really close. We played them to map 4, I think, quite a few times this year. And overall, that's a really big thing. Boise State played very well last season. This season was a little bit more rough to start out for the Broncos, but it's sort of built up. They've gotten a lot better over time now that a lot of their players who are playing overseas in events are starting to come back a little bit more frequently, and they've come back a lot stronger than ever before. Plus, they have a few more members now. We got Slick Roads, we got Diamond Dog and Daydream, but they've been here from the start. But they're also with them in Vegas right now, so that we got a few people that are there to help alleviate some of the pressure from our main guys.
As far as Nebraska and Baylor goes, are there any notable players or picks that you're wanting to see?
Honestly, I think that the biggest thing that we're going to see out of them are fairly standard for what we see when seeing right now. I think the Zarya pick is going to be really big. I think from what they've been playing in the past, that is a really big deal, just in their play style in general. The Diva is a really big one as well, but also Diva's just really good right now. I feel like anybody can play Diva to at least a little bit of success just because of that defense matrix. You have kind of an out when it comes to Diva Bomb. You really have a whole lot of stuff that you can use that, I'm in a bind, I'm going to push one button to get out of it. Of course, I say it like that, but it is a lot more mechanically intensive. Also, characters like Tracer Sojourn are going to be really big as well. All right. We are still waiting on the next game, so we are going to take a very short break, and we'll be right back with you in the action in just a few minutes.
Love Paddles Up Pokey. Thank you.
Shout out Paddles Up Pokey, feeding us lunch. Appreciate y'all.
Just finished feeding the football team. Always a pleasure. Go Broncos.
How's it look so far? Comfortable?
Yes. Times and places all in who you share them with. Joy.
I got in.
Who you share it with.
Friends know me as Derek, but I'm also Master Sergeant Raxter. This is my life in the Air National Guard.
Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. About to start the show, better take your seats. It's time to let the curtain rise. We're gonna shake the room, we're gonna
Now earn up to 4 times the rewards with the ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card. It's the credit card from the credit union you love.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. It's finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great? Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
Since you guys have been in here, some things have changed. We've updated this place to be in its final form. New cabinets, new counters, all sorts of new stuff in here. This has turned into a place that wouldn't look out of place at an SEC or Big Ten football facility, and Dairy West has allowed us to have it here. We've taken a holistic approach to our player nutrition, and we're really thankful that Dairy West has made sure that our fueling station is the best in college esports and really at industry standard for any college athletic department.
I'm sort of used to. Okay, we're good. I'm sort of used to talking in front of people, so talking in front of a camera isn't super big. But I know people who haven't had that background before, and it is a really big step up. Like, man, I'm talking in front of people, like people I can't see.
Yeah, I would say that, like, for me, I'm not like exactly nervous about public speaking. It's just like this is such a different animal than like
I was subbed on for a extemporaneous speaking, which is basically this. Like, okay, I know the
Here we go.
PEC Grand Finals, coming off a incredible game between Boise State and the University of Utah. Boise State ended up taking the win, but we're going to be continuing to follow Boise State as they take on Syracuse right up next. And I'll tell you what, I am incredibly excited for this one. I'm your host, Bryce, joined by my co-host, Dallin, and overall, Syracuse upsetting the Ohio State. What a matchup that must have been.
Honestly, I don't think anybody was expecting that. So it's really interesting to see the number 4 seed take on number 1 seed and then come out of it with a 3-1 game, not even going to round 5.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Ohio State struggle a little bit over the past few weeks. We saw them struggle a little bit in the last few weeks of the PEC. They lost to Boise State as well as Syracuse, too. So Syracuse coming back to do it again, proving that it wasn't just a fluke, was a very, very big deal. And I got to say, we didn't get to watch the game, but it must have been an incredible one to go 3-1. And overall, what a team. So now we get to see that Syracuse team, who's fresh off of beating the number 1 seed favorite to win, go up against Boise State. So what do you think we're going to see out of these two teams? They've both proven themselves to be pretty heavy hitters. What do you think they're swinging with?
You know, honestly, I think it's really going to be interesting to see how they ended up playing in this championship bracket here, because we've seen kind of both of them play in the regular season. They both did really well. But the upset with Syracuse over Ohio, I mean, it'll be like they're going to be pulling together something for this Boise State team that we saw as well.
Yeah, and speaking of this Boise State team, we have Jonathan Foraker, Cannon Miller, Carter Jones, Will Hess, Jenny Cummins, Amanda Bailey, Mark Thana, and of course, Doc Haskell rounding out the Boise State roster. And this team has been through a lot. They played against Syracuse quite a few times. The last time they played Syracuse, it came down to the wire. Ended up with a Boise State win, but they really brought them down. And the reason that they were able to pull out the win was, of course, by following Doc's keys to the game. Doc's keys to the game. In Overwatch, win fights before objectives. Take fights in unexpected places. Win 1v1s and don't make positioning mistakes. All of this, of course, brought to you by Blue Ribbon Painting. Doc's keys to the game are brought to you guys by Blue Ribbon Painting. With over 90 years of combined experience, they are proud to be Boise's go-to team of local multi-generational painters who are more than happy to level up your home. Visit blueribbonpainting.net for more information. But moving back towards this game, Syracuse has proven that the bright lights are not blinding them. We've got players like Azer who are really good on the Tracer. We also have players on our team like Clear who are good on the Tracer. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of that dive composition coming back out to play, kind of like what we saw out of Utah without that stray in map 3 that kind of went towards Brawl. But I feel like that kind of has to happen when a lot of the dive characters are banned.
Absolutely. And these dive compositions really show forth a lot of experience from the players, really kind of having to push forward on that and getting to see some really interesting gameplay, interesting styles, and really knowing that map knowledge so that way they're able to work their way around. And so with that player's knowledge, we'll be able to see kind of what it is they're doing and makes it super interesting for them.
Yeah, it also shows off a lot of the team play between these players and a lot of what these guys have been working for and really how close they are with each other. If you want to keep learning how close these guys are with each other, or you just want a little bit more Overwatch content, make sure you guys follow us over on Instagram and X for more Overwatch content at Boise State Esports Overwatch. We got a lot of skits, we got a lot of fun videos that the team produces, and overall, it's just a fun time. So if you ever get sick of hearing my voice, which I don't know why you would, but if you ever get sick of that, or you just want a little bit more, make sure you follow us over there on our socials for even more outstanding content. But moving over to picks and bans, we have Nepal starting us off. Very good map. I like Nepal a lot. I know a lot of it's kind of iffy up there in a lot of players' minds. But we see Vendetta and an Orisa ban. I have not seen Orisa the entire time we have played this series, except for against Syracuse. So this feels like a target ban if I've ever seen one.
Definitely. You would imagine that Syracuse's tank has been shown to be really good on this Orisa, and so Boise State's want to get that out of there. And the Vendetta as well, similar to the Tracer, leaning into that dive comp. And we've seen Clear on the Vendetta, and boy, is he good on that character.
Yeah, we've seen a lot out of Vendetta, especially over the past little bit here, with Clear getting a lot better on the character. We've gotten to see his growth on it. We got to see the combos that it does with the Wrecking Ball composition with with the Tracer, just overall being a dive threat. What makes me a little nervous for Syracuse is how early they took that card off the table. They didn't wait for they didn't wait for 3. They didn't wait for round 2, round 3, but they're taking it off right now, and we'll have to see if that comes back to bite them later. But here we go, game 1, Boise State Broncos versus the Syracuse Orange on Nepal.
You know, really getting to see the map here. It's always, you know, very well done, I think, by the Lizard team. You know, gets to see these really interesting locations. I think it's fun. But it's interesting that they decided to, like you said, take off the Vendetta here right at the beginning, but it must be something that the Orange doesn't want to see on this map in particular. So we'll see what happens. We're getting right to it. It's plays out.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of different ways that you can play Nepal. There's a lot of different angles that you can attack from. I do understand where the Vendetta ban is coming from, especially on a map like Shrine like this one, where you have a lot of different spaces to roll around. You're seeing Strider already making use of a lot of that space, just taking it away from the enemy team. Clear also diving in to help him out just a little bit, but with a lot of damage coming on to Saint, the Lucio. They're going to have to help him out. No help is to come as Strider is going to take the first pick of the match.
One already. Strider really just put down the pressure immediately. And he does so well with that ball. He knows all the angles and where all the health packs are, so he can really make use of this character.
Forcing the Kiriko out, not really what you want to see, S-Dog. I mean, Kiriko is such an incredible character. I would argue that she is the single best support character in the game, just based off of utility alone. You have your Suzu, you have your Swift Step, you have a ludicrous amount of healing, not to mention also how much damage you can do. So forcing that Kiriko to run away from a Wrecking Ball and use none of it, on her team at least, it makes it a lot harder for him to do anything, and we're seeing that a little bit more with the dive from Strider.
Strider really rolling around here. That's another one, taking out Azir.
Yeah, Azer, the quintessential Tracer player for the Orange, is going down early to Lyric. It's like we're talking about. Kiriko, it has just such a damage potential that can't be taken off the board super easy. Clear also taking out Mac. Emir proved in the last series just how useful he can be, and Maxwell is really putting him to good use right now. Taking out Money Dog in the end as well. Lunar going down too, and Saint last to fall. Maxwell has just been on a tear with Emir.
Honestly, watching him is such a treat, and I've heard before that he can just really hit those headshots. And he showcases it well with the Ombre, the what was his name? The gun character.
Yeah, Emir. Or Soldier,
yeah,
Soldier and then Emir.
Yeah, Soldier, Emir.
I mean, they're very different, but I mean, it all comes down to whatever you like to play more in COD or Halo. Did you like the 3-round burst, or did you like the fully automatic?
Yeah, basically.
But I think it's pretty clear what Clear likes more. He likes the semi-automatic. That's why he runs the Tracer. Already running down 2 players, Saint and B-Dog, both going down. The Kitsune Rush is used, but Hex is down before anything can be done about it. Out goes Maxwell, too. We're still even on the point as Strider finds one. Sticking the Diva, but not going to get the kill. Still going to DMAC, though. That is not what you want to see if you are the enemy team. The Orange struggling to capture this point, but at 98%, they pretty much have to stick the landing, and unfortunately for them, Lunar just doesn't. Kitsune Rush comes through, looking to get them on the point, but override protocols come through. Not a single shot gets off before Boise State captures the point. Boise State takes an early lead to start things off.
Boise State really putting on the pressure here, just taking that quick 1-0. And it'll be interesting to see the rest of this map here. I mean, yeah, like we saw, Strider there with the minefield, really able to just put so much defense out onto that point and really just blocking it off for the Orange.
And not to mention it 100-0 fashion. That means the Orange were not able to capture once. They got really close in that final fight. They took it down to just Strider and Clear, but even though that pulse bomb didn't result in the kill on its own, it still did enough damage to demech the Diva. Just not quite enough time to get your heals back, to really get yourself up there and going. And really, Diva is a great character. She does a lot of stuff, especially with her defense matrix. It's really hard to keep her up once she's already just taken so much damage. But on to Village we go, and Mac is the first to fall. Boise State is still just rolling right through him. Maxwell almost going down too, but he's able to get that kill.
Yeah, and the Boise State supports Lyric and Hex here have been really good about making sure that the team is topped off, and they've got such great ultimates, like we were saying, with the Kitsune Rush and with the drop, and they're just able to sustain all of the damage that's coming in to keep Boise State top.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the Kitsune Rush. It's such a good ultimate. It's not like everybody's invincible for 8 seconds ultimate. It still requires some skill to make use of, but it acts as a force amplifier, and really we've seen it a ton. Where Saint does not even need the Kitsune Rush to get the kill on Saint. Just a little bit of damage from Maxwell in the back and a slam from Strider is enough to take down Mac, and really that was all Syracuse needed to fall. Boise State already up to 30% and counting, and I see a little bit of a Cassidy swap there. They're tired of this wrecking ball.
Yeah, and they're wanting to be able to use that hindering that they get from the grenade, and it puts some usage into that, I guess, wrecking ball, but see if he's able to get some placements.
I remember when it was the Seeking Grenade. Just tracking across the map, but out comes the minefield. It's going to trap 2 players just by themselves, and Mac is going to go down before even getting to throw the grenade. It's just B-Dog on the point, and he goes down. Azer soon to follow. You got a tank and a decent support right there on point, but unfortunately for them, Saint does not quite have the damage or healing output to keep up an entire D.Va. Oh, and what a stagger from Boise State. Just letting Lunar jump off the
Hey there.
Oh, man. But, you know, that's kind of the risk you run when you play D.Va. D.Va is a really good character, can do a ton of burst damage, but if she's the last one to die...
Absolutely. And I'm wondering if it's a bit of a playstyle difference here, but I'm curious what we're going to be seeing from the Syracuse team, and wondering, they managed to take out Ohio, so... Nice. Stopped out of the ultimate there on Amre.
That's actually a huge kill out of Syracuse, taking an ultimate off the table. That is incredibly strong. Out comes the pulse bomb. Not going to find anything, but Lunar, with a little bit of a Kitsune Rush boosted micro missile, is going to take out Lyric. Clear trying to find something to get any use out of their own Kitsune Rush, but nothing's really going to find, but a stick is going to get eaten by the defense matrix at the very last second. Strider going down as well. Boise State takes their first loss of the map and forced to back off.
And that's exactly what I was just saying that we were expecting, is that Syracuse being able to show that, hey, they're also one of the top dogs here in this tournament. Able to push Boise State off of the map and
so many different projectiles that just get completely canceled out by D.Va, but her getting pushed right into the corridor could have been deadly if not for that defense matrix just being online, having enough to use. Recall having to be used out of Azer, and out comes the minefield. Point is going to be a lot harder to capture now, but with self-destruct looking to clear a little bit of it out. Mac trying to Deadeye, but no! For Mac. Oh,
it is not high noon, it is midnight.
It's actually 6:15 map time where we're broadcasting. It is not high noon, but Clear and Strider both getting their one. Saint, the last one alive after Lunar falls, and he's not long for this world either. Boise State will take map 1 fairly handily from Syracuse. Now, I do have to put this one out there. In the last matchup that Syracuse had, they also lost round 1, and then went on to win the next 3 against the Ohio State, which is how they ended up losing. Right. So
maybe they're giving this one away so that way they can get that 3-win streak in the bag.
I doubt they would be giving it away, but I do see where you're coming from there. Kind of feeling out your opponent, making sure you know exactly what they're about to do. But we would like to give a quick thank you to our sponsors, ICCU. Thanks to ICCU for their continued support of Boise State Esports. Thanks to them, Boise State Esports has won multiple national championships and piled up more than 1,500 wins. Look, ICCU, looking after your daily balance. Visit iccu.com for more information.
In fact, I think Boise State recently just got the 1,600th win.
Yeah, we got to update that. We got to update the ad read.
Numbers. so many there, really showcasing the talent from this Boise State squad.
Yeah. However, going into the next round, we are going to be moving into escort, which usually means the next point after that will be the make or break match point. We saw it in the last round that we watched for Boise State, but I bet you we're going to Kings Row. I said this last time. I'm not going to bet on it this time because I lost my bet last time.
We'll see.
I think we are going to Kings Row just because that's where Syracuse has gone a lot of times. It's what they like to do. And overall, I think that they just seemed a little unprepared for the Wrecking Ball. They sort of got their bearings round 2, that second sub-map. They swapped to the Cassidy. D.Va was playing a lot more defensively against the Wrecking Ball. I liked that a whole lot more. But in the end, it just wasn't quite enough. It came a little bit too late. So now I want to see where that takes them now that they are fully acclimated to it.
Right. And are we going to see a Wrecking Ball ban, or is there just going to be some playstyle changes that's going to try and counter that a little bit more?
I honestly doubt we're going to see the Wrecking Ball ban until map 3 on the push maps, because that's typically where we see it. It's a lot easier to really get back to fights as Wrecking Ball. You get back a lot faster, and push really requires speed. That's where we normally see it, but we are going to Kings Row. I was right about that.
You should have made that wager.
Yeah, I should have made that. Hey, you miss 100% of the bets you don't take.
Exactly.
Yeah. I should have double or nothing.
But
But
a Kiriko ban as well.
Kiriko ban, I like the Kiriko. I really do like the Kiriko ban.
Yeah.
I think that will be really good. But we do have a few We do have a few things here. Wait, we got the full bracket up here. Utah actually beat Kansas. They're ranked a little bit higher, so I did kind of expect that. Nebraska still playing Ohio State for who will be going to the winners finals, and of course we're watching Boise State Syracuse right now.
Yeah, some really exciting games that we've been able to see, that we've been able to have happen over this weekend, and maybe we'll see some more upsets along the way.
Yeah, Cassidy ban for
Cassidy
Kings
being
Row.
the second.
Can't say I don't hate it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we were just talking about how important that Kitsune rush is. So taking it away from, honestly, from both teams here, will be really interesting to see which way the supports go. And we're just going to get right into it. This should be a really exciting game, I think.
Right into game 2. Boise State currently leads by 1. Syracuse looking to put their first number on the board. Who will be played instead of Kiriko? I would honestly think this is where we see the Baptistiari from Boise State. We've seen that a whole lot this season. We saw a lot of it in the preseason beforehand. And really, it'll be interesting to see what Syracuse decides to break out. Will they break out the Baptiste? Will they keep the Lucio? I honestly think the Lucio will be kept either way. But now Boise State has the ability to play a lot of their characters that they want. They want to play the Wrecking Ball. They want to play the Vendetta. They want to be playing these characters, and now they have them on the board with only really Kiriko out of the picture for them.
And without that target ban, do you think we're going to see the Orisa from the Syracuse tank player?
I think we are going to see Orisa. I think that Kings Row is such a good map for brawl tanks like her. Orisa really thrives in a situation where you are forced to come to her. And what are you doing in Kings Row with all these straight hallways? You are coming straight to Orisa. And really, that's why I think she was banned on the point. But actually, no, we're actually going to see Zarya out of Lunar this time around. And a little bit of Mizuki. We haven't seen any Mizuki yet, and actually Lyric is going to be playing him too, but Lunar is going to pick him up really early. Azer going to lose out to Strider in the Wrecking Ball. So, still even.
Yeah, a bit of a switch up there. Yeah, there we go. It's the sides. And we're seeing the Amare again out of Maxwell, and he's just going to be able to hit those shots. The healing from that gun is so good and so well done there for that.
Yeah, it just gives you so much more staying power, but Saint is going to go down and he's going to go early into the fight, forcing the rest of the team into Hotel. Lyric going to be trying to put up a little bit of a fight from the backline, doing enough damage, using that hat bounce to heal up his team just a little bit more, but Strider in the backline actually going to get stuck by the Mizuki chain. Not a character we see a lot of, but definitely showing off his use. Lyric going to get the kill early on, and actually Mizuki has a really interesting kit, and I really wish he was a little bit better so we'd see him more. But he has a chain, he has a bouncing healing projectile, and he also has a somewhat like Kiriko's Swift Step, being able to place down a marker and then jump back to that marker when he's in trouble.
Absolutely. And him being one of the newer characters probably is some of the reason that we haven't seen him as much. I think once these players really start to get more acquainted with those newer characters, we're going to see them even more and more. But Boise State able to take a quick cap on that point and start escorting.
Hell, there's your Orisa pick from Lunar. We saw the reason for the target ban come out, taking out Clear relatively early, but Mac also went down in the fighting too. Bouncing grenade from Maxwell, going to get a little bit of chip damage, but that point is still just moving forward at a steady pace, and you got the Fortify out. They're able to keep him up for a little bit, but Azer going down is not what you want to see. Lunar actually going down to the Pulse Bomb. Don't see an Orisa dying to Pulse Bomb, especially with Fortify available too often, but Saint is also going down as well, having to use the rally earlier on in the fight. Once that wore off, it was lights out for the Brig.
Boise State really pushing forwards here. Even just looks like one person over there on the point. And Clear, he's sneaking around. He's looking for those picks here.
Just hanging around.
Yeah.
Maxa doing a little bit of a jump tech. You got a able to get right up there, but the minefield's coming out from Strider. It's going to basically force Syracuse to stay in place, not take a second fight. Out comes the barrier and the Terra Surge. Can he stay alive? The barrier from there, Mizuki, is also going to help out. Clear going to get taken out really early on, but 2 ultimates out of Boise State. 1 more from Syracuse to even things out is going to take out Maxwell and Lyric before their ultimates are even used. Lunar going to take out Strider in the end, and that's going to be a team fight for Syracuse, but with that point so close to
and
second
a lot
capture.
of ultimates spent on both team sides there. So Boise State going to regroup and try that second push on to that point.
Hello.
Yeah, that Shrine, Mizuki's ultimate does so much. I mean, you're stopping projectiles from passing through it. You're actually stopping everything from passing through it. And you're healing what's inside of it, too. So it's just such a good ultimate to anchor down and make sure nothing happens. And when combined with Terra Surge, can't say there's anything better than it, because you're not healing your team and you're not getting out. But Boise State taking so many different angles to just get kills, and Azer, Mac, and B-Dog, Saint 2, all 4 of them falling within a second of each other, and Lunar's not that long to follow. Boise State going to capture point 2, and we're paused.
Some technical difficulties here. We'll see.
Maybe
we'll see what
Jetpack
the
Cat
reason is.
got on the monitor. Maybe it's
Yeah.
paused.
Yeah. No. I see what you did there. That's clever.
But overall, we've just seen Boise State do what they do best, and that is taking fights so incredibly fast that nobody really knows what happened. I mean, we saw it in the fight before it. We saw it in the fight, or the 2 fights that they've won. Sure, they lost that one in between, but they just hit them so hard and they didn't have any ultimates to come back from it. Sure, you had Shrine in the second one. Sure, you had Rally in the second one, but you had to use both of them in the second one, so it didn't really matter. We just hit you so hard and fast in the neutral game that you couldn't really react.
Absolutely. And it's really what we've seen a lot out of all of the players during this PEC is those stacking of ultimates, being able to kind of combo with your teammates to really put together a team fight that is just so much more powerful than it would have been by only using one. But the trade-off then is that you are left without those for the next team fight. And so it's really trying to figure out that balance so that way you're able to put out that staying power and that killing power without giving one or the other away.
Yeah, what do we use now? What do we save for later? What do we use with what? They have these. Do we use them knowing that they have these? Are we confident that we can bait them out beforehand? There's a lot of stuff that goes on before any sort of team fight, and I feel like that gets glossed over a whole lot. There's a lot of mental math that needs to be done. How close are we to ultimates? How close are they to ultimates? What do they have? What do they possibly not have? What are they going to use? It's just a lot of stuff that you have to consider, and I feel like knowing what ults to use to get more ultimates out of somebody else is a huge skill that you need to learn.
Absolutely. And both teams really able to showcase that here. But I think as we've been watching Boise State mostly, they've been able to do that with the game before against Utah State. And here as well, we're seeing it again with Syracuse. And so will they be able to continue that? And their push has been going forwards really well here. So I guess we'll see after this tech pause what is in store for the rest of this map.
Yeah, I want to point out Mizuki just a little bit more. I kind of glossed over him, but it's a character that we haven't seen a whole lot of yet, and he's kind of been struggling in the meta recently just because there's better options than him. But I feel like he gets glossed over because he is a very potent character. I mean, he's very much like Kiriko. He has a teleportation ability like her. He has an ultimate that really helps out the rest of the team. However, unlike Kiriko, he's a lot more healing focused than she is. His ultimate is able to heal everybody in a radius, is able to cancel out anything that goes through it, so it basically acts like a shield. I mean, once you get inside of it, it doesn't do that anymore, but then you're just getting healed from it anyway. Then he also has a projectile that, while not nearly as potent as Kiriko's, still can do quite a bit of damage and also ramps up the healing that he does too. So you're almost encouraged to play very aggressively when you're playing Mizuki, and I feel like we've been seeing that a lot out of the 2 players that have been playing Mizuki. You got B-Dog and Lyric, who have been playing a lot of him right now, and we've been seeing that really go through with these guys, and I can't wait to see how that continues to go.
Absolutely. And they're just throwing around the hat trick, being able to make those plays and get that healing across for the team.
Bringing the hat trick from Rocket League to Overwatch.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And along with the other 2 supports as well, we're seeing a Brig and we're seeing a Lucio on the opposing team, and kind of being able to work around the Mizuki ultimates and just get that timing up, being able to have both of them available and kind of the differences that they provide, like you said, with the rally or with the beat drop.
Yeah, it's more, do you want a explosion of high health in your sound barrier that's going to save you if you used preemptively? Or do you want a more reliable source of healing that's going to heal you a little bit more, or that's going to create an area of effect that's going to heal you a bit? And I feel like there's use cases for both of them, and I feel like both of them are kind of in the right spot. I think that Hex on the Lucio is doing very well. I think that it's a really good way to get your slower characters into position. I mean, you have Maxwell on the Sojourn, and Sojourn's by no means slow, but definitely a lot slower than the rest of the Wrecking Ball Tracer backline.
Right.
Or then you also have Rally to sort of prevent a lot of that damage that's coming in from the Tracer, from the Wrecking Ball, and Brig does a really good job at stopping that, and I feel like in map 1 it was definitely shown off very, very well. Both players playing the Lucio, just Boise State not really having to worry about dives so much, but we are right back into the game. Boise State taking second checkpoint, 4 minutes left to work with.
A lot of time for them to be able to push this advantage, so we'll see if Syracuse is able to make the turnaround and stop them, but Strider in the back line here is going to be coming up behind them, putting the pain.
Ooh, Azer goes down early, not what you want to see, and Mac also taken down too, put in a really precarious spot. Lyric is going to go down to B-Dog, but in the end, their trades are not going through the way they'd want them to, and Hex is actually going to push Saint off the map.
Yeah, and we saw Clear there also able to take down Lunar, just putting out so much damage as that Tracer.
Yeah, the thing is, I would love to say different, but once both those hats are completely taken away from Mizuki, his burst healing is 0, zip, zilch, and neither character really does a lot of burst healing that Orisa kind of relies on. So not having that makes it a lot more difficult to really get up and going, and Mac and B-Dog both going down, not what you want to see, especially with the minefield separating the team from one another. Lunar is by himself. Sure, Saint's going to find Lyric, but he's separated from the rest of his team, and Lunar goes down incredibly fast as well. Boise State
just cleaning up here on the Sojourn. Just so much damage, all the headshots, and look at that.
Ooh, man, swap into the Venture, trying to get back. I understand it from Mac on to the Doomfist as well. Mac actually going to push Hex off the map. A little bit of revenge for last time, but Doomfist caught between a rock and a hard place. Somebody yanked his chain, and that somebody was Lyric on the Mizuki, having to use the Shrine in order to keep themselves up. B-Dog had to use it. It's a lot of healing, but it isn't enough to survive just about anything. Sure, Strider will go down, but so will Lunar. He's able to get back a little bit faster, but Mac is going to be the one to go down first, and looks like Lunar is right back, and the Shrine is right back in play from Lyric. Lunar goes down, Azer goes down. The rest of Boise are still able to go. 20 kill streak out of Clear, and Boise State will complete their push with 2 minutes remaining. What a push out of Boise State.
Absolutely.
Sure felt like a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But you know what? You gotta hand it to him.
Mm-hmm. And really a good showcase there with the Mizuki ultimates from both teams, trying to hold on to those final few moments, and Syracuse all switching to these faster characters, trying to just stop Boise State from pushing on to that point. So we'll see what Syracuse has in store as the attackers now, as they move forwards onto these points.
I will say I am incredibly impressed with Mizuki as a character. I was not expecting him to have that much of an output on the match, especially with his ultimate Shrine. I just was not expecting it to do very well, and I feel like we saw both of its big use cases used in that final fight there, both to stop the attackers from being able to do a ton on that point, and being able to defend yourself and your team while pushing it to the end. And I feel like that's something that hasn't really been explored in Mizuki's kit a whole lot, and I'm glad we're starting to get to see it a little bit more as we roll on to round 2. Boise State will be defending this time around. I wonder, I'm sure I know exactly what they got in store. They're playing Wrecking Ball.
Right.
But I wonder I'm more surprised to see what Syracuse will have in store.
Yeah. We saw the Orisa on the defender side, so will it continue to be so on the attacker side? My guess is yes, because if they had that targeted ban in the first round, then the Syracuse Saint must be a good enough player to do it. And is that a Winston?
That's so funky monkey type?
Winton. And like you said, Strider on the Wrecking Ball, just getting stuck in immediately.
Winton.
Oh, taking out Mac.
Oh, Mac goes down so early. That is not what you want to see out of your Tracer. And Azer, Lunar both going down too. Not what you want to see at all. I mean, Strider's a little sleepy from getting all those kills, but still, it's not going to stop him from rolling over B-Dog. It is just the Brig left on the point, and punched him.
And interesting thing, both B-Dog and Lyric have switched to Ana now as opposed to Mizuki.
I get the Ana when it comes to Syracuse's lineup. I mean, having that long-range healing in order to help out Lunar on the Winston, that is definitely what you want to see. But I'm a little bit surprised we're seeing it out of Boise State, because they're already playing more of a dive comp, and they were not playing it earlier, but I guess as an anchor character, she just does so much. It stops a lot of dive that we've been seeing, and we've also seen Lyric on the Ana quite a bit over the past few games. So maybe it is just what they need. Throwing out the anti-nade, looking to get someone. Isn't going to find anybody with the anti-grenade, but Mac and B-Dog both going to go down before trading out Strider. There's still a tank on the point, but it is not really going to matter. Lunar is going to find his, but Saint goes down before anything can happen.
And Maxwell here on the Ashe, not somebody that I think we see too often, but a character I really like to see, just with all of the utility that she has, and of course with our main man Bob. And Boise State really guarding this point here, having the ranged firepower both from Maxwell on the Ashe and from Lyric with the Ana.
Yeah, actually swapping over to the D.Va. Lunar played a little bit of D.Va in round one, had some success with it, but in the end just wasn't really able to get it done. And Maxwell's going to go down to Azer D.Va dive, but with the rest of the team dead, 2 people can't take the point away from 4. Oh. We're really starting to see that now. It's you got D.Va, you got Tracer, forcing out the recall. You see Azer trying to run away.
Yeah, actually, and it's really hard to go against that Ana there, especially with the sleep dart available. Being able to just be like, hey, we're none of that right now. We're gonna put you to rest.
It's just it's time. You're getting sent to Snork Me land. You're going to sleep for a little bit. Clear and Azer both duking it out on the Tracer. Oh, that's not cool, Mac. It was a Tracer one. You don't interrupt the 1v1, but from the looks of things, Boise State losing quite a few players early on. They might be able to stop it before it goes over to Tick 3, especially with Bob almost up and running. Then Strider's actually going to go for it, but a whip shot is going to keep him away for a little bit of time. Rally gets popped, but Strider with a little bit of with a healing boost on him is going to be able to keep him up. B-Dog and Azer are both going down, but Strider is also going to find his match. Nanoed Brig will do that. Out comes the sound barrier from Hex. It's going to give just enough of a boost to the rest of the team that Boise State will be able to hold on to this one at Tick 2.
And Maxwell just clicking heads, clearing Syracuse off of that point. And him, along with the nano-boosted ball, really just putting the hurt onto Syracuse. Now we've got 30 seconds left?
Yeah, 23 seconds left and still continuing to count down. Syracuse have an ult online with the overclock, but Boise State have 2 more to counter it. And every ultimate that's going to be brought online by Syracuse, Boise can match. It's all going to come down to who uses them better, and out comes the overclock. Who will it find anybody? Oh, it'll find Maxwell, but Bob comes through. Our main man, our favorite robot. It's not going to find a ton, but it is going to create a force on the point that has to be taken out before anything can happen. In fact, it's actually going to take Lunar out of his mech. Bye, mech, bye, Azer. Nobody's there to touch in overtime. And Boise State take round 2.
With a team kill to clean everything up. And just the firepower from all of these guys. So much.
And with the play of the game, I mean, being a true force to be reckoned with on the Orisa. Just in the end, that lack of burst healing was really what was doing him in on the Orisa. I think that just a little bit more time, just a little bit more healing, maybe on a swap in the beginning would have helped them push through just a little bit farther. But big thanks to our sponsors over at Dairy West. Today's stream is brought to you in part by local dairy farmers and the dairy protein they produce. Thanks to them, Boise State Esports has access to next-level fueling options that keep our players playing at their peak. Unbottled dairy protein that powers your performance. Visit unbottled.com for more information. But overall, solid game out of Boise State, really just holding them there. If you were Syracuse, how would you move to counter this?
I think they really got to take the ball out of Strider's hands. We said it at the top of Game 1 that we're probably going to see the ban here in Game 3 because he is just a menace on that thing. Really moving forwards into prime position. early in the game and then just holding it there. And the mobility and, like we were saying with the dive comp, is just putting in the power and the pain that we're needing to push forward this game.
I would tend to agree. That Wrecking Ball ban coming through on map 3, it's going to be push. So having that, a very mobility-based game mode, getting rid of that Wrecking Ball is going to be huge. But honestly, I think they need to stick to the Brig. They've just been struggling so much with Tracer throughout the entire time. Because, I mean, Strider's been doing a lot on his own, but you got to give credit to Clear and Maxwell for softening him up as well from the already softened state that they were in. Strider actually died quite a few times in that map, and overall, he got a few kills, it was off the back of a lot of damage being done from the DPS as well. You got to give them credit where credit is due. And honestly, if they had a Brig throughout that whole time, they brought Brig out for that second little bit, for a little bit of the first push and a little bit of their offense, but overall, just a little bit late to be a real menace.
Too little and too late, to be fair. And we are going to be coming up to this push map here, and the dive comps are going to be working hard to keep those teams off of the robot. And it looks like Runasapi is going to be our map, and Wrecking Ball and Brig ban.
Both the characters I wanted to see done are banned, but I like both of those bans from both teams. It's going to allow for Clear on Tracer or Vendetta or whatever he wants to play to do a little bit more. And obviously, Wrecking Ball has been giving them a hard time from the side of Syracuse. So, definitely good bans. I can see where they're coming from both sides. But here we go. Game 3. Match point for Boise State. Can Syracuse bring this one back in line?
I'm wanting to see some of the talent that was shown in their games against Ohio. Because, I mean, if they were to take them down, then surely they can have some luck here against Boise State. Or is Boise State going to go for the clean sweep? We will find out momentarily.
Yeah, if there's any map that Boise State tends to struggle with, it is these push maps. A lot of their losses have come on map 3. Just push is a very swingy game mode. Usually the first team to win a fight will usually win the whole game, just because you get that momentum going, and then you're kind of stuck in a stalemate. But I think we might see a little bit better play here. There's a lot less high ground to take advantage of than there is on Esperanza, like we saw. I doubt we're going to see Malga out of Syracuse this time around, but that Orisa's still on the table for him, and Strider's a pretty good Zarya as well.
Speaking of the Zarya, Strider taking it out, and Syracuse as well. Lunar on the Zarya as well.
Shield them with Trigger too.
Zarya mirror match. You don't see that a whole lot. Mac swapping over to the Emir, Azer on the Tracer, matched out by a Sojourn and Vendetta. One of the few times you don't see a mirror on either side of the DPS line. Saint is actually going to go down early. Same with Mac. Lyric going to go down to Azer, but does not matter as the rest of the team falls to Hex.
And Clear really showing the hurt with Vendetta here. I mean, there's a reason that Vendetta gets banned, and here it is.
The only time it is ever acceptable to bring a knife to a gunfight.
Absolutely.
Is if you have a really
if it's
big
a really
knife.
big knife. That can also, throw force at people.
Yeah, and can just run around like a freaking maniac and just stab people. Just stab. It's crazy she's Italian and not British.
But Boise State taking the early push here, and now it's getting turned around as Syracuse returns. But once again, the Italian with the knife.
Yeah, just running in. Got the Beyblade on lock, doing a little bit of damage. Actually, Mac is going to go down early to the railgun. Lunar and Saint both soon to fall as well. Azer going to take that final tick on Strider, but it is just not enough as Kiriko's the last one alive, going to fall to the rest of the DPS. The thing is about Zarya, she is so squishy. Oh my goodness, she dies to a stiff freeze. But at the same time, she just does so much damage that you have to take her out early. And you either divert all of your power into the Zarya, take her out, or you just don't shoot her at all, because you cannot risk her building that beam with those bubbles.
Absolutely. Just being able to hand it out to the team is just so much utility. And Boise State and Strider's been able to showcase that.
Yeah, Maxwell actually going down incredibly early in the fight. We got a little bit of damage coming through on a lot of different players. And out comes the sound barrier to keep everybody up. Saint not quite to his either to match. and the rest of the team is just going to fall on over. Boise State continues to keep their lead, and they got this thing pushing right back. Might be able to get forward spawn off of this too, and that is going to be a huge benefit in their favor.
Absolutely. Just falling like dominoes. And Boise State's going to be pushing up and taking that first checkpoint, so that way they've got the forward spawn, and that just gives so much staying power for the team that has it, being able to come back so quickly.
It guarantees them pretty much a team fight right at that starting line, and usually that's where the forward spawn is going to be kept or lost, and that is such a huge benefit that is so often slept on. But here comes the Graviton Surge, and a triple out of clear, quadruple out of, quintuple out of clear. What a play! Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to be your unbottled play of the game, brought to you by dairy farmers and the dairy protein they produce. Refuel, recover, repeat. Visit unbottled.com for more information. But a quintuple out of clear. It's not very often you see that ultimate get any value, but when it does, it gets a lot. And it looks like a combo of their own. Lunar going to use his own Graviton Surge into max cognitive overload, and it does look like they're going to see some success out of it. Not quite as much success as Boise State, but Maxwell able to get out of there in the end.
Absolutely. A lot of ultimates used there, though, for Syracuse. They've still got two up there on Azer and B-Dog. So, and look like none there for Boise State. So Boise State going to have to very carefully to watch out for the Speaking up.
Yeah, there's the Kitsune Rush you were talking about. B-Dog's actually going to find clear in the middle of it. Maxwell, though, behind enemy lines, looking for a pick, isn't quite going to find it, going to be blocked by the bus as Strider goes down in the fighting. Tons of damage just coming through. Lyric's going to find a pick in B-Dog, but in the end, it is a Kirito versus the World, and I think the World might win that matchup.
Absolutely. Syracuse starting their push here on the turn as Boise State returns to point. And will be interesting to see what it is they're able to bring back to this. Ultimates all charging up here, because if Boise State's able to get that point back, it'll be hard for Syracuse to push again.
Yeah, Azer having his ultimate up, having that full spawn available is a huge knock in their favor, and out comes the sound barrier too, able to get the rest of the team in, and the pulse bomb misses Maxwell, able to dodge away. You think he's Neo from the Matrix the way he's dodging bullets like that. Clear goes down, but not before contributing to taking Lunar out as well. No longer having a front line, Syracuse has to back up, but Mac is going to go down for his troubles, and B-Dog trying to touch Kiriko versus the World, and just like what ended up happening with Lyric, B-Dog, he loses to the World.
Absolutely. And we were seeing the beam just getting stronger and stronger. All of that utility coming out of Strider on this Zarya. Really just able to showcase the ability to keep the team around and put out that damage.
Yeah, and we saw two big combos of Graviton Surge coming out from both Boise State and Syracuse, and both of those are ready to go. Having to use the sound barrier in order to really get things going, but canceling Mac's ultimate with the Sundering Blade. That is huge, huge source of damage gone. Azer is almost dead, having to use the Graviton Surges, both of them used together, but Maxwell with the overclock is going to do just that little bit more damage. Just passing 4 minutes left in the game, and Boise State is still holding on strong to this lead.
Yeah, pushing back up to where they were, and Maxwell really putting in the hurt there with Sojourn. And just doing so much with Boise State.
Having to using 4 ultimates in that last fight, Strider's going to go down early to Azer, but they are going to push it forward just a little bit more. 118 meters, it's just at the top of the hill. If you're going to hold it in the spot, or if you are going to keep it at the spot, that is a good one to do it. It is such a hard one to push to if you are the attacker, so Boise State are in a really good spot. But with Lyric's trying to die here, but they're just saying, no, you are going to get staggered, my friend. We are going to make sure it takes as long for you to spawn back as possible. And that is really the strategy for this team. They're going to be able to take one more team fight out the middle here. They're going to lose the forward spawn, but overall, this is the most neutral place that they can take a fight, and I would say that this is the best one for it. And an aggressive beat to boot.
Absolutely. Up in there, Kitsune Rush coming out of B-Dog, really just putting in so much work, and Mac being able to take out Clear there with the assist. So,
Mac on a tear.
Maxwell able to take out Saint, but B-Dog taking out Hex. Azer taking out Maxwell. And that is a team kill for Syracuse.
Yeah, baiting out the Kitsune Rush, not using any of or having to use the sound barrier though. Not so sure I would make that trade, especially with Graviton Surge at 50%. I guess you got to use it or lose it, but at the same time, you got a few good ults that sound barrier can protect against. Using the pulse bomb, not finding anything. Azer having to back off, look for another angle. Strider, just too much damage. Actually, both Zarya's going down. It's all coming down to the rest of the team. Saint going down to Clear, and the rest of the team might be soon to follow as Azer falls too.
Yeah, I think we really need to give a shout out to Max right here. He's just doing so much, taking out Mac as well here for the team, putting out all of that damage. And now we've got the Overclock and the Kitsune Rush online for Boise State. And Overclock and the sound barrier for Syracuse. So it'll be interesting to see how this next team fight plays out.
Yeah, Syracuse was able to get their forward spawn, so they're going to be able to get back to this one incredibly fast, but Boise State was able to get theirs back. Overclock! Ajax! Ajax is Hex! Oh wait, no, Ajax is Saint! No more sound barrier on the table for Syracuse! What a kill! If you're going to kill anyone, that's the person to get. Maxwell goes down in the fighting, but taking out Mac as well. 2 ult cancels from one man. What a play out of Boise State!
And the Kitsune Rush there as well, just putting in all of the momentum to get Boise State back up to this point. And Syracuse is going to really work hard to stop this Boise State.
Boise State has Hex, Clear, and Strider ultimates on the table. Syracuse can only match it with 2. Out comes the Sundering Blade. They're all in a line, but they manage to dodge it out. Able to get through. Azer goes down. Lunar Saint to follow. Sure, Clear falls, but that is a team wipe for Boise State. Right close to the finish line. Can they stop them in time? Can they get right back to it?
Switching onto those fast characters again, trying to stop it here.
Oh yes, trying to get there. They were able to get there in time with 20 seconds left on the clock. Boise State just needs to win one more team fight, and that is a game win for Boise State. Syracuse still fighting to keep themselves in this one.
Yeah, Syracuse really trying their hardest, but with only 10 seconds left and all of the momentum that Boise State had before,
no.
He just can't miss.
He just cannot miss. It is genealogically impossible for him to miss. They actually bred it out of him. Maxwell doing so much damage, but the bot is getting pushed back. Saint is by himself. Lunar goes down in the fighting. B-Dog and Mac both going down, no longer wanting to push the cart any closer. Any touch is needed as Azer goes down. Overtime is ticking with a team kill. That puts the lid on it. That finishes the soup. Boise State takes it 3-0 and continues to winners grand finals in their victory lane. Syracuse put up a good fight, but in the end, the Broncos are the winners.
Clear here, I think a well-deserved play in the game. We'll take it.
Arriva la punizione!
What a kill streak that was, taking out 5.
The 2 ultimate combos there. Just so well done by Boise State and so strong.
And we are just waiting on losers semifinals to see who will advance to losers finals, which I believe will be broadcasted tomorrow. Or actually, I'm not sure if losers semifinals is going to be broadcasted alongside tonight and then losers finals tomorrow, or if both of them are going to be casted tomorrow. But overall, Syracuse, what a game that was, and I honestly think we're going to be seeing Boise State Syracuse in the finals tomorrow as well. Unless Utah comes out and upsets Syracuse, which I could see a world where that happens. But honestly, just absolute game. 2 great games for tonight, and I am so glad that we were able to watch them. Honestly, any thoughts about the games?
It was just incredible to see the teamwork from Boise State as they went against both of these heavy hitter teams, Utah and Syracuse, and being able to progress to the finals. Gotta hold the reigning title, absolutely, right?
Gotta hold the reigning title, especially after a rough start. especially after a rough start to the year. This is exactly what the Broncos needed, and I'm so glad that we get to see them move forward. But that is all that we got for you guys tonight. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, as we still have some more of the Overwatch finals that we are going to be broadcasting right alongside the PEC live chat. It has been great. My name has been Bryce. I've been your host. This has been Dallin, my co-host, and we are so happy that you guys decided to come with us tonight, and we can't wait to see more from you tomorrow.